right, everybody. We have got such a packed show today that we're actually going to split it up a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of football, a little bit of baseball, and then go back to football. Should be an interesting show. We got a couple of really nice topics to do here. Of course, we're going to do our five flaming 5 and 5, and we're going to see if Cheese can get all 5 of those questions right. And then, of course, we got to talk about the combine at least a little bit. So, combine, a little bit of college, a lot of baseball, and then some NFL split up a little bit. So, I hope you guys are all looking forward to the show. As we are all doing this as well, I've got to go over here real fast, and as I let Cheese talk to you guys, I got to see if this thing is streaming on our actual X account. Cheese,
looks like it is.
Is it?
I just pulled it up. It looks like it is.
I hope it is. Hope it's actually working. But I'll ask you this, Cheese.
Yes.
How have you been, buddy?
I have been very good. Very chill. I'm reposting the poll question.
Okay.
As well.
So what is that poll question? Go ahead and tell us that.
Okay, so your poll question is, let's see. I got to get back to it.
I'm sorry. I put you on the spot.
So we're going to rank the top 10 third basemen in our lights out list at the end of the show. And you asked which is the most important quality and listed 4. You listed defense, power, contact, or versatility. So you can go on All Gloves Off SM. That's Mike's account, or go to mine, Football Cheese, on X, and vote in that poll. And I had a poll that I did. Did you see that as well a couple days ago?
I did not, buddy. Talk to us about that. What did you do?
So there was just a lot of debate about Caleb Williams. There's been a ton. I'm reposting that as well. So basically, I looked at all 32 teams and thought, which ones would even have a possibility to trade for Caleb Williams? Even a possibility. And I said maybe 12 if I was reaching. So I did 4 options. How many teams would trade multiple first-round picks for Caleb Williams if the Bears decided to shop him? So you can do 9 to 12, 6 to 8, 3 to 5, or D, as we say, the 4th option, only the Jets and Browns.
Interesting. And I have to put this out there. I know you don't know I'm going to do this, but I tell you what, you, sir. So when I listen to a podcast, I don't care about hearing somebody scream and yell like Stephen A. or somebody like that, right? What I want to do when I listen to a podcast is I want to spend 10 or 15 minutes of my time, and I want to learn 2 or 3 things from that 10 or 15 minutes. And if I can do that consistently on someone's podcast, then I will continue to listen to it. Over the weekend, you did a Chicago Bears video to where you broke down why exactly they're not going to be in Chicago anymore. And the stuff that you found out and the things that you put on that video were just mind-boggling to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not gone over to Football with Cheese and watched that video, I guarantee you will learn something about that situation. And if that's what you like to do, then hop on over there to his channel, which is what again, Cheese?
It's at Football with Cheese, and Cheese spelled Cheez. And I appreciate the kind words. It's not official. It's been reported, but the Bears have not denied it. But it's possible that the state of Illinois and Chicago makes a last-ditch effort to try to convince them. But it sounds like they have some kind of verbal agreement that they're moving to just across the border into Indiana. But it's just fascinating how the Illinois, the state, and the city of Chicago just completely screwed up. And
it is actually.
Now they very likely will not have the Bears in Chicago. And, this isn't anything new. The Bills don't play in Buffalo outside of it. 49ers don't play in San Francisco. Giants and Jets play in northern New Jersey, but still, it's just the Bears wanted to stay in Chicago. And anyway, you can check out the video and find out more.
Yeah, very good. And then you made another video today, and it had a kind of a Bears undertone to it as well, right?
Well, no, the video today was about the Green Bay Packers and the tickets. Were you able to catch that one?
I did not, actually. I haven't seen that one.
We're going to talk about it today in the topics. I just go more in depth. Yeah.
But didn't you also do one about the Bears and trading Caleb Williams? Didn't that come out today too?
No, I just did a poll.
Oh,
They're
okay.
They're
Okay,
not trading. No, yesterday I did a combine video, just breaking down what the combine is, what happens at it, and then talked about some of the important drills. So I did that on my channel. But today's video was all about how Green Bay Packers are actually taking away season tickets from people reselling them to the opposing team's fans, and how.
And we're going to talk about
Field,
that later, you said, right?
yes, we're going to talk about that later in the show. And
All right.
yeah, so that's actually good. You probably didn't watch the video because yeah. Because I want to get your take on it without you seeing my take. So I'm really happy.
That's fantastic.
Make sure you watch it tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do it tomorrow. All right. Sounds good. So we got a bunch of people commenting already here. Let's get to a few of these before we jump into the show. Yeah, I saw that. It's on All Gloves Off SM. It's back to back. Ellie and Gino today went back to back for the Reds. They finally won a Cactus League game. Game 3. They finally won one. So I've already put a couple of those up there. Let's see here. San Jose 49ers. Yes. Okay. You know, they don't play in San Francisco. Got that. Good job, Roger. Roger will be out with me here in just a little bit. He is coming out, I believe, later. No, it'll be next week. Next week, he's coming out here to Arizona with me. So you never know. Maybe we'll do something a little different. And of course, ramen as always. Fellas, is probably the nicest thing I've been called all day, ramen, so I appreciate it. One of our people here, Duke blowing out Notre Dame. I assume that's college basketball that I'm not really into yet because the tournament hasn't started, but okay. And we got all kinds of stuff to get to over here.
Duke's probably pretty good. They usually are. So
they usually are. You're right. They usually are. All right, buddy. So let's throw a few of these up here real fast. We're going to do a couple of things. Ryan Poles said something that's pretty intriguing to me. We're going to talk about that here in a few moments. We are also going to talk about. I'm just going to click away.
We're not NBA guys. So if you're asking about NBA in the chat, we're just not big NBA guys. This is a baseball football podcast.
Nope.
But yeah. So you could probably teach us about the NBA.
You probably could. 100% right.
Cool.
There you go. Now see, Bird 19s. Yes, we're all here for MLB, sir. Well, it's already started.
I think he means
especially for some of us crazy people. All right, buddy. So let's go ahead and jump into this 5 Flamin' 5 and 5. Then we're going to talk about Ryan Poles. We're going to talk about the tragic death of an athlete here in just a moment as well. Then we'll jump into baseball. Then we'll go back out to football. And then at the very end, I can't wait for this. We're going to do our top 10 third baseman today. That should be interesting. I'm going to tell you right now, I had to put one in there just because I really like him. And I had to drop one down because I don't like the guy. So I let my own bias get in the way of this countdown for a change. I usually don't do that, but I did.
Wow.
So
I think our lists are going to be really different. Maybe the same 10 or close to it, but very different order. I just have a feeling because it always is. Yeah.
It always is. It always is. All right, Cheese. The question now for you is: are you ready for this 5 Flamin' 5 and 5, buddy?
Let's do this.
All right. So for those of you who are not familiar, we give Cheese 5 questions. He has 5 minutes to answer all of them. And if he gets them all right, then he and I will talk about a bonus question. Let me do this for a change. Let me give you the bonus question, kind of tease that a little bit and see if Cheese can get it so that we can talk about this. I got Netflix back. All right, Cheese. I didn't have Netflix for a long time. I refused to pay it. I decided I was going to pay it again for multiple different reasons, but I love documentaries and I love sports documentaries. So I started watching Quarterback on Netflix. I haven't seen season 1. There's already a season 2 out, so I'm working on it. Well, I'm sure you've seen both seasons. I'll get caught up eventually.
I have not watched it.
No, you haven't. Okay. All right.
I've watched all the Hard Knocks on HBO Max, but no, I have not watched.
Okay. So at the very beginning of Quarterback, it's a show that's produced by not only Peyton Manning, but it's also produced by that crazy guy who Patrick Mahomes. There we go, that guy. So Peyton Manning, in the very beginning of the series, says the most difficult position to play in sports is quarterback. And if you can get these 5 questions right, you and I will debate if that is true.
Okay.
So here we go, buddy. The 5 Flamin' 5 and 5. The 5-minute countdown will start when I'm done reading the first question. And here it is. Should an athlete who is already being paid millions of dollars to play baseball also be paid more to represent his country in the WBC?
No, no. He should be with his team in spring training. The WBC, I don't know. Do they even pay the players or just voluntary? I mean, they don't pay Olympic people. So every right to do that, but I don't think they should be paid at all. I don't watch them. I'm a fan of it. Personally, your team is a World Series contender. You need to be with your team the entire spring training. That's what I believe, and I would not be part of the WBC if I was a player. But no, I don't think so.
All right, I wanted to get you to. It seems like if I start the music while you're talking, it messes everything up. So yeah. All right. So, secondly, sir, Texas A&M has the most invites to the combine. The NFL combine is taking place this week with 13. Does that say that they are better than all of the other college football programs?
No. And I don't even think they're going to have the most players drafted. I did see that. They just have a lot of possible draftable players. Let's put it this way. They invite about 300 and some people. 250 some get drafted. And I think they have 4 or 5 questionable guys if they're drafted or not. They might have some 7th round picks, undrafted free agents, but no, they don't even have the most talent of anyone in this NFL draft. So they just happen to have a lot of guys that could be drafted.
Okay. I see we have more comments. We'll get to them as soon as the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5 is done. Cheese, the third question out of 5. Broncos head coach Sean Payton said that his new OC, Davis Webb, will be able to call the plays this season. Does that surprise you like it does me?
Yeah, it does. Sean Payton seems so OCD, so like control freak. He wants to control, like he just seems that way.
I agree.
It does surprise me, but it tells me one thing. He really believes in Davis Webb. When he didn't get the Raiders head coaching job, all these teams wanted him as offensive coordinator, and he didn't go anywhere. And I wonder if Davis Webb said, I'll stay as offensive coordinator because he was the quarterback coach, if you didn't know. But I want play calling duties, because, that's really what a lot of offensive coordinators do. Most of them are the ones who call the plays. And he must really believe in Davis Webb. He's only like 30 years old. So, I think he trusts him, and I think it's just really good for Davis Webb's career. But, yeah, absolutely surprised me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic as the season unfolds. Let's go back to college football for a moment. Which game will be the toughest for Ohio State this coming season? I'm going to give you 4. Ohio State at Indiana, at USC, or at home versus either Oregon or Michigan. So at home versus Oregon, Michigan, or on the road at Indiana or at USC. Which one do you think will be the toughest game for Ohio State this coming season?
I tell you what, if they were playing at Oregon, I might say that. Oregon could be really loaded next year. But I think you have to go with at Indiana. I know Mendoza's going pro, but God, Indiana played them so well last year, and they still got a lot of talent coming back. They're going to get some transfers. They always do. So, yeah, I'm going to say at Indiana, and I still don't. I have no idea what Michigan's going to have next year. I have no idea.
I'm not sure if Michigan has any idea what Michigan's going to have next year, but yes.
Well, I don't know the coaching situation. It's just there's always a mess there. There's always something going on with Michigan.
All right, so it's a long question here, Cheese. It's about your Packers, so hang on with me and give me a second, all right? Okay. So Packers GM Brian Gutekunst, right? Something like that? Okay. said, I got a couple quotes from him, and I want to ask you if you think both of these will be correct. He said he couldn't be happier making the trade for Micah Parsons and what he brought to the team. Do you think that's true? And then secondly, on running back Josh Jacobs, he said he will absolutely be back this coming season. Do you believe in both of those statements?
Yeah, that's like the two best things he said. He said a lot of stuff that made me mad. But yeah, Micah Parsons, he was great in the locker room. People love him. It was a great trade, although he had to make it because he didn't draft well in the first round, didn't get them enough defensive playmakers, so he had to make the trade. But yeah, Josh Jacobs has to be back. He's a team leader. He's by far the best running back they have. When he's healthy, he's so good. So that's no brainer. He's back. And anyone suggesting he could be cut because he's due $11 million, that's insane.
All right, look at that. You got it again, buddy. It's like and
Barely.
scene, right? Okay.
I didn't do the end scene. Yeah.
Yeah, you
do it next-
usually
maybe next
do,
time.
and you didn't for me this time, so that's all right.
We'll see.
All right, so let's get to a few of these comments over here. Again, we got a ton of them. So a couple of these I'm not going to do because, you know, we've got our usual trolls over here.
Bears fans.
So we talked about, do the Olympians get paid? So this is Roger saying some Olympians get stipends from their country. So yes, it sounds like some of them may possibly get paid.
I always figured the basketball players do. I don't know.
Mitch, love you, Mitch. Appreciate you being here. All right.
Let's see
here.
I'm guessing he's talking about quarterback.
Right. Yeah, that was the quarterback show. I guess he hadn't seen season 2, but he's seen season 1. We'll get to that here in just a second. That'll be the extra question that we will talk about here.
Yep. Yeah, Kevin's watching. He's a big baseball fan. Big Astros fan.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
And here we go. I don't join the channel Bird. I don't know who Bird is.
The person making the comments about baseball.
Oh, okay.
Bird, yeah.
Join the channel. Okay, got you. Oh, and Mitch is over here saying, no, hey, you shouldn't worry as much about spring training. You should play for your country.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's not the Olympics. It's some classic thing they made up to try to MLB Network just to give them something to do during spring training.
All right. And that's not. Yeah, I mean, you're right to an extent, but yeah, I know you're.
You know how I feel about the World Baseball Classic.
I know. That's why it's fun to debate it, because I know what side of the fence you're on, and I know I can poke the bear from this side of the fence. Yeah. So yes. But I wanted to get rid of all of those comments, sir, because I want to talk about a very tragic thing before we get too far into this podcast here. Rondale Moore, fantastic receiver. He played for the Cardinals. Last year of his career, he was with the Minnesota Vikings. He passed away over the weekend. Mm-hmm. It looks like, and I don't want to say definitive, but there's it's some kind of gunshot wound, whether it was accidental or on purpose. We don't really know yet. But if it was a suicidal thing, that's the second NFL player to do that here in just the last few weeks.
Well, it was like August or September when Marshawn Neal of the Cowboys did it.
Was it that long ago? Okay, I honestly, I thought it was. Maybe it's just because it's still in my brain and it's that.
Second one in about 6 months.
Okay, so the second one in about 6 months. All right.
Yeah. Very tragic. Both young players too. Both like 24.
Like Rondale Moore was like 25.
Nealon was 24. It's crazy.
I don't know. That's just never been a thing for me. Like no matter how bad my life would be, I would never think about taking my own life because the devastation it would cause to the rest of the family. And, I've got at least one or two people who care about me a little bit. So I wouldn't want to do that
Hopefully
to them.
Hopefully more.
I don't know. Depends on who you're asking. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think it says about the NFL though? And is the NFL going to have to react to this and do something about this?
I just don't know what was going through Marshawn Nealon ran from police and then killed himself. There was it's a mental health issue, both of them. I think the NFL needs to look into these players more. A lot of them just, Marshawn Nealon was in his second year. I think Rondale Moore was in his fourth or fifth, but they need to do more to make sure these guys are okay. Maybe everyone meets with some kind of sports psychiatrist before the season. Anything's confidential, anything going on with you. Some people just don't handle just getting millions all of a sudden, boom, overnight. Now they have NIL, it's different, but just the pressure, Rondale Moore, just, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but he was a second-round pick. He was a really good college football player at Purdue, like really good. Like I love watching him, and you thought he'd be better than he ended up being. I mean, still, he's only in his like fourth or fifth year, but he never lived up to the second-round pick, the selection he was taken. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but they just, the NFL and these teams maybe need to do some more and say, look, anybody going through anything, something not going right in your life, call this number. If we have a sports psychologist on call, psychologist, whatever, whenever you need it. Just maybe each team should have one, like a permanent one. I think that would help, but it's just such a shame. I can't imagine this family.
Right. So, most everybody that watches this channel probably knows by this point that I'm a first responder as well. And then, that's one of those things that, it takes a toll on you mentally as far as that part goes. And then we have programs that you can get into. But the problem that, from that standpoint, Cheese, that I know of, is that you can't force anyone to get into a mental health program like that. They have to be willing to do it. Should there be anything to where, if there's some flags or something like that that go up, that not just NFL, but, any other places like that, should they be able to force someone into a mental health? Should they, if you're exhibiting these different signs, then we're going to put you, over here in this program or something like that? Or do you still think it's got to be something that the person has to be willing and wanting to do?
That's a trick question. That's not trick. It's a tough question because
it is.
It just depends on the situation. But I'll say this, like mental health people that were people in mental health facilities has decreased like exponentially. I think I have a text on my phone a friend sent me. Just like hardly anyone compared to they used to is in mental health facilities anymore. And that's probably, here it is. Like in 1955, let's see. People in mental health or asylum or mental health asylum, 560,000. This last year, 35,000. Now, some of them probably shouldn't have been, but still, like all of a sudden, we're just maybe not taking care. More people, we need to make sure they're getting the help they need. That's a really significant decrease. So, I don't know. I think it depends on the situation, but I just hope if they need to talk to all the players. Here's a psychologist. And also, if you see a teammate going through something, they tell you, tell somebody, tell the coach, tell someone, because just in case, because this could happen. Yeah, maybe he's mad at you for a few weeks, but at least you don't have a Marshawn Nealon or Rondale Moore.
Right. And that's, of course, what we're going to talk about here for a couple seconds more. The other thing is, I think a lot of people, and especially athletes, right? I'm a big, strong athlete. I can take on any problem. I can, so I believe this mental health thing is looked at as them showing signs of weakness. And I hope people don't do that and don't look at it that way. But I think people do. Cheese, is there anything you think we can do as a country, as just, being friends to someone, so that we can say something that convinces them, hey, this is not a sign of weakness. If you're having, some kind of mental health problems, you need to get this checked out. We're not going to make fun of you. But I really think it's a sign of weakness, and people don't want to show that, especially athletes.
Right. Like I said, just give every player the number for a sports psychologist. Maybe have one or two on the staff, and someone's on call 24/7. I'll call this number, and it can be completely confidential. And I think if something's more confidential, I think that more likely they'd reach out.
Okay.
So your teammates don't have to know that you have it, and you can tell them if
correct. Yeah, it could be confidential like that. It certainly is. There's plenty of organizations out there that do that, and they keep that confidentiality. There's a couple that we have with the first responder group that I'm with and everything else. So I want to end it with this. If you guys need anything out there and you have nowhere else to turn, please go to follow me, go to our Twitter handle. And this is not something that I'm trying to do so it's like, oh, we get more followers and all. No, I'm dead serious here, right? That's not what this is about. If you need help and you don't think you can turn to anyone else, let me know. Simply direct message me there and I can get you. I won't help you because that's not what I do, but I will get you to the help that you need so that hopefully everything can be straightened out for you. As you said a few moments ago, we really want to reach out to those families and I'll even say it. Maybe it's not going to be a popular thing, but I'll say it. We'll pray for those families and hope for the best. And when a tragedy like this happens, hopefully something positive will come out of it.
Yeah, I hope so. But hopefully we won't have any more incidents like this in the NFL. But I think the teams have responded. The NFL is in general, but also the teams need to make sure to take care of their players.
Yes. All right, sir. It's very important, and I wanted to talk about it in the beginning, but I don't want to focus on it. So let's not. Let's do something else here for a moment. Ryan Poles.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me real quick and tell me he is the Chicago Bears GM, correct?
He's the general manager of the Bears. Been there, I think, since 2021. Yes.
Okay. He has a quote from the weekend. Let's talk about this for a second. He said,
it was today, actually.
Oh, was it today?
Today, a lot of the coaches and general managers, they did press conferences. It's a media day at the Combine before the workouts. And so they asked him questions. And I'll just give you a background. Ian Cunningham,
Sure.
His assistant general manager, former offensive lineman at Virginia, he was hired as the new Atlanta general manager. And so, and he is black. Ian Cunningham is. And so he was asked about that and if they would get 2 third-round picks because Atlanta hired him away. But anyway, go ahead with the quote before. I don't want to spoil it, but go ahead.
Well, no. This is going to be interesting to me. I didn't realize that picks were attributed to this.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you. So we have the Rooney Rule, right? You have to interview, I think, for head coaching and general managers, I think 20% of your interviews. And then I think coordinators, special teams, offense, defense, you have to interview at least one minority, non-white. Basically, it's someone who's not white. And that's the rule. Now, the NFL, in my opinion, it doesn't work. It doesn't change. It hasn't changed anything. So instead of just getting rid of it, they decided to we're going to bribe you. Okay. If you hire an assistant coach as the head coach from another team, if you hire their coordinator or quarterback coach, whatever, to be their head coach and they're a minority, you get a 3rd-round pick at the end, compensatory pick, each of the next 2 years. Same thing with front office. If you hire someone who's in your front office who's non-white to be in your team, that team that had originally had that person, so this would be the Bears, would get 3rd-round pick each of the next 2 years. So basically bribing teams to hire head coaches and general managers that are not white.
I did not realize that it was associated with picks.
Yes, but here's the thing. Like, for example, the 49ers got 2 third-round picks for DeMeco Ryans, for the Texans hiring DeMeco Ryans as their head coach because he was the defensive coordinator. There's a couple quick things about it, though. They must be on the staff 2 years, the same position. So if you can't hire, like the 49ers get nothing for Robert Salah because he was only there 1 year as the defensive coordinator. So they do not get the picks for that. So they have to be there 2 years in the same position. And also they must be, as far as front office, they must be the highest person in the front office. So technically the Bears are not going to get 2 third-round picks because Matt Ryan is the president of football operations. He's ahead of Ian Cunningham. So technically the Bears, on a technicality, are not going to get 2 third-round picks. So that's just good to know before you hear the quote from the Bears general manager. And listen in the comments if that's confusing at all. I can try to elaborate. But yeah, the 49ers kept having all these 3rd-round picks, and I was like, why? I finally looked it up a couple of years ago. It's for DeMeco Ryans. I'm like, did they trade him? Like, what's going on? So, but that's a real thing. But no one's going to get 3rd-round picks this year. Not one team. Yeah. So
interesting. Okay, so let me give you the quote from Ryan Poles, again, general manager of the Chicago Bears. He says, and I quote, I think it's strange when it talks about the, is he a fan of the Rooney Rule? He says, I think it's strange. At the end of the day, you should want to develop your staff regardless of the color of their skin. Huh. First of all, sir, I can't believe that you want to talk about this. I have wanted to talk about race relations things 4 or 5 times on this show, and you shut it down every single time. Like, nope, I don't want to get involved in it. And you sent this one to me. So
I figured you want to talk about it.
I almost got to get my money's worth out of this one.
Well, there's a reason I sent it to you, because it's Ryan Poles who said it, and It's interesting what he said, and it's rare because Ryan Poles is black. If you did not know, it's rare for someone to speak out and actually criticize it, especially someone who is black. And I guess what he's saying is it shouldn't matter the color of your skin. You should just get the coaches that you want, the front office people you want. And I agree with him. Like, it shouldn't be about race. It's the intention is great, but I think the biggest problem with the Rooney Rule, and I'm not talking about, just bribing with the 3rd round picks, which I think is crazy. But the problem with the Rooney Rule, I mean, the intention is good. The problem is, there are two quick problems. One, you're just saying, well, these owners and front office people are racist and they're not going to hire them because of that, their color of skin, which is crazy. They just want to win. But also, the second problem I really have with it is sometimes like a Sean Payton's available, or an Andy Reid might be available, or somebody like amazing, Sean McVay might be available. Why would you force them to go through a fake interview with someone that's a minority that's not getting the job? You know what I mean?
We all know who's not getting the job.
Yeah, and Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator of the Vikings, has a lawsuit with 3 teams claiming that he got fake interviews because they weren't actually serious about hiring him. And that lawsuit is going to go forward. It was just ruled a couple weeks ago. And if he got a false interview, I get why he might be upset, but it's causing problems. And the whole thing of the Rooney Rule, it hasn't changed. It hasn't led to more minority head coaches or non-white head coaches. And so it's not even working. So it's like, what's the point? And I think the biggest problem is more whites go into coaching than non-whites. A lot of them get into businesses and do other stuff after they're retired. Just more white players get into coaching for whatever reason.
So I may never do this for another Chicago person ever again, but Ryan Poles, good job, sir. I mean, that's the way he put it was fantastic. It shouldn't matter. You're 100% right. The color of your skin should not matter. I don't want to jump into the race thing, like head first or anything, even though I almost feel like I should because of, what I said about us and doing some of these things earlier. I'll just do it on the separate show that I do, seeing the whole field. I'll make sure I do that on those shows and I don't include poor Cheese over here. So he's sweating the whole time we're talking about it. But
no.
I don't care what color your skin is. You're either a good person or you're not a good person. It's really that simple to me.
Or you're the right coach for that job, or they're not the right coach for the job.
Right. It shouldn't matter of your skin color or where you came from or anything like that. We're all trying to get ahead in life. We're all just trying to be the most qualified person for that particular spot. And if the organization thinks that a white person is, then great, hire them. If they think the black person is, then great, hire them. If they think some other minority group is the best one for that, then there should be, that should play a role in whether they hire them or not.
The Titans did not hire Robert Saleh because he's Lebanese. Okay, they didn't. They hired him because they thought he was the best coach for the job, and I thought it was a good hire. So Ryan Poles said what a lot of people would not have the cojones to say. And he's getting criticism for it. And, I respect him for saying it. And, I've wanted someone like that to say it. That's why I sent it to you. It was to say something like this. It is a flawed rule. It has great intentions, but it's a flawed rule. And bribing teams with 3rd round picks, which are very valuable, the draft picks are very valuable, to hire coordinators and front office people that are non-white. I think it's just, they've just gone too far. they're trying to get more minorities in coaching and higher end spots, and all the stuff they tried, it stayed exactly the same. It has not changed.
Yeah, Robert Saleh was the only minority person that was hired this cycle.
And we talked about
that a few weeks ago.
And Ian Cunningham was the only non-white to get a front office job, like a high-end front office. I think there's only 4 of the 4. Mm-hmm. So, and the Bears aren't even going to get 2 third-round picks out of it because of technicality.
Wow.
So Brian Poles is like, what are we doing then? Like, I think that's one of the reasons he said what he said.
So do you think the Bears are going to get any backlash for this from different communities?
Oh, I'm sure Stephen A. and Ryan Clark are just losing it on him. Yeah. Yeah, of course he is. But, I respect him for saying it. Like I said, he's going to get a lot of backlash, but it's what he believes, and he probably get tired of answering questions about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure he does. So, yeah, I'm with you. I appreciate the fact that somebody said something. I would thank him actually for saying that. That's I think that takes some guts, and I like people to have guts. I like people who will say what they think, even if it's not the most popular opinion in the world. So,
and the mainstream media will probably attack him. I haven't looked at anything because I don't follow the mainstream media, but I'm sure they'll attack him. They attack anyone that doesn't agree with everything that they agree with. They virtue signal. They just you have to agree with this, and whatever the current thing, you have to agree with it, or you're a bad person. Let's attack them. That's just what they do. So
yeah, unfortunately, you're right. That's the way it goes here. So now, before we jump into MLB, I almost forgot to do the extra question from the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5. Again, I'll set this up.
Yeah.
I just got Netflix back. I've started watching the show Quarterback. I'm in season 1. I know there's 2 seasons, so a lot of people out there have probably seen both of them. Peyton Manning, at the very beginning of season 1, he's the executive producer of the show, comes on and says that quarterback is he doesn't say it's the hardest position in football. Peyton Manning says that a quarterback is the hardest position to play in sports. Would you agree with? Let's take it in football and then in sports. Would you agree, first of all, that a quarterback is the hardest position in football?
Yes, definitely. I don't know if he was referring to like physically or if he was referring to the whole aspect of it. But as far as like just the quarterback, can completely change your franchise. Mm-hmm. It's the most important position. He has the ball in his hands every play. If you have an elite quarterback, your football team's going to be really good, even if you have some flaws. I mean, Joe Burrow took a Bengals team to the Super Bowl, playing amazing. You can do that, and people are trying to hit you on every play. They're coming after you. And the mental told you that the things you have to do pre-snap, film study, you have to process information quickly. You have to go through your reads. You have to be accurate. There's so many things to do. And if you lose, if you're Josh Allen and the rest of your team sucks around you and you still play great and lose, they will criticize you. He can't win in the playoffs. It's all his fault.
So there's a point in the show where they say, okay, so I'm the quarterback, and the first thing I do, they ask each one of them. It is Burrow, it is Goff, and it is Kirk Cousins. That's the 3 guys that they focus on season 1. And they ask him, what's the first thing you do when you come up to the line? And he's like, well, all 3 of them in separate parts say, well, the first thing I do is peek over at the clock and see how much time I've got. And then they're like, then from there, it's a bunch of different stuff. Like, they'll say, I'm looking for a 2 safety, or I'm looking to see if somebody's going to, are they crashing on me? Are they, should I run here? Should I audibilize here? And it's, then they start explaining that usually in the huddle, they call like 3 different plays. And if he says kill, 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 or alert, 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 they can get out of that play. And, they go through a lot of this scenario thing. Yeah, when they tap their helmet and everything.
Tap their head if it's like a noisy road game. Tap your helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where they base this off of, saying that it's the hardest thing to play in sports. Okay, I'll agree with you. It's the hardest position in football. I'm not sure if it's the hardest thing in sports. I remember a guy named Pete Rose saying the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a round ball with a round bat. I don't know. Will you also say that it's the hardest position in sports.
Yes, I will. I mean, Pete Rose never had trouble hitting the ball. He certainly didn't hit 4,000 some hits. Of all the people to say that, it's like he didn't have much trouble there. I do think it's the hardest position in sports. It's like I said, the ball's in your hand every single time. Even like, okay, starting pitcher, you have a lot on your plate when you start, but you only do it once every 5 times. You know, so I when you sent me this, I was trying to think like what. I can't think of a single sport where it's more important other than individual sports, obviously, but like team sports, the 4 major sports, yeah, it's the most important. Maybe hockey goalie would be second, but yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm going to put the catcher behind the plate. I mean, much like the quarterback, he's involved in every play. He's got to do the signals to everybody. He's got to do defensive stuff. He has to look over in the dugout to find out what they want to do. Do they want to walk this guy? Do they, all that kind of thing. He's worried about the runner on first going to second. He's worried about the runner on second going to third. There are lots of different things out there. I agree with you that I wouldn't put pitcher over top of it because he only plays every 5th day. Yes. But they also, the schedule for the NFL is playing once a week, and the schedule for Major League Baseball and a lot of other sports is a lot more than once a week. So I would also have to take that in consideration too.
That just means every game is more important for the NFL. And the catchers, I'll say this: even catchers don't play every day. So I think in a baseball game, the most important player is the starting pitcher in each individual game. Would you agree with that? I think that because they have a lot. If they don't pitch well, it could completely cost them the game if they don't have it.
Sure. Wow. I think there's a lot of different things that happen on a baseball field. I mean, the same thing with the football field, right? There's a lot of different things. The receiver gets the ball, misses the ball. You run the right defense on the right play, and it just happens to all work out. I mean, there's so many different variables that can make or break a game. But like I said, I just thought it was interesting that he said it was the in sports was the one that got me. If he would have said in football, I'd have been like, okay. I even rewound it back a couple times and was like, did he really just say that, like, I'm the most important guy and I have been all my career? And,
I agree with him. I absolutely agree with him. But,
All right. Hopefully we'll get some comments on it. Nobody's commented for a few minutes, but I like a lot of these topics that we've talked about. And we'll see if anybody gets going on that. But before they do, we've got to get going with the best. The Spidey Cup is out today.
Mug check. Spidey.
Mug check.
Mug check.
Yes, sir. We've got to get going here with the best graphic in all of sports.
In all of podcasting.
All of podcasting, yeah. We probably better not say all of sports. I mean, I'm not Peyton and you're not Eli, so I guess we can't do all of sports, but we'll do all of podcasting.
I'll be Cooper. Fair. I'll be Cooper.
All right, you want to be Cooper instead of
Cooper
Eli?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Definitely.
Good, buddy. Oh man. And people stick with us this entire show sometimes too. All right. So here we go. Jumping into MLB 4-pitch talk. All right, buddy. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things today in our MLB 4-pitch talk. We're going to talk about the Braves. We're going to do some spring training facts. We're going to talk a little bit about the World Baseball Classic, Detroit Tigers, and the Los Angeles Dodgers, along with a few other things along the way here. So a lot of different things to talk about. A lot of different things are going on. Baseball is getting ready to kick in, and I can't wait for it. Man, this is my time of year right now. I love this.
And you better enjoy it because we'll be talking about only NFL draft stuff this time next year because there won't be a baseball season.
Yes.
Every time I mention it, you should see how I do this on purpose, right?
I do. It's kind of like I know how you feel about the World Baseball Classic, so I poke you from this side. You poke me on this. So, oh man, I'm going to hurt you if we actually don't have a season. By the way, it's going to be all your fault.
Hear that, folks? If something happens to me, it was Mike. I am not suicidal, not at all.
Oh man. All right, so let's talk about your Atlanta Braves for a moment. So the Atlanta Braves have extended veteran left-hander Chris Sale today. So here's question 1. The terms of the extension are as follows. It's a 1-year extension for the 2027 season at $27 million with a club option of $30 million for the 2028 season. Cheese, as a Braves fan, how do you feel about just the money part of this contract? We'll look at other parts of it later, but just the money, $27 million for 2027 and then a $30 million club option for 2028.
Yeah, it means they can control him for 3 this season and 2 more after. I like it. He very likely, if he has a good season, which I assume he will, he would have probably gotten more than 2 years, $57 million on the open market, despite his age. So I think it's a good value. It's good for both. It's good for the Braves because they probably got him less than they would have had to pay him after a year, and also good for Sale. It's like probably finished his career with the Braves, and that's money that he's more guarantees. If he does get hurt or has a down year.
And it's a club option. That's the part of this that I like. So the club controls this. Sale has nothing to do with this. The $27 million is guaranteed for 2027, but the $30 million is not. The Atlanta Braves have to pick up that option for the $30 million for 2028.
Yeah, and so it gives him out if his play falls off or he gets hurt, they don't have to pick it up. So, and obviously he's comfortable with. It's like, all right, yeah, $30 million, no problem. So
yeah, I'm really surprised he was comfortable with a club option as far as the $30 million.
What I've read, he just really likes the city. He likes being a Brave. He was very happy when they traded him from the Red Sox. He really wanted to be a Brave, so he really likes it there. I mean, anything's better than playing for the White Sox where he used to play.
That's true, especially right now. So second thing here, Cheese, Sale turns 37 next month. He's on the latter half of his 30s. So how does his age affect the way you view this contract extension the Braves gave him today?
I don't think it's really that much. Some pitchers just age really well. They still pitch well into their late 30s, sometimes early 40s. It's crazy. And he has the last 2 seasons, he has a 10 WAR over 303 innings. And he's been 41% better than league average in ERA. He's just when he's healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And so I just don't see him just having this big drop off. So I think I'm very pleased with this.
Okay, so we'll talk about what he's done and the possible drop off and stuff here in this next one. So the Sale has pitched for a total of 15 seasons in the big leagues. He's been in Atlanta for 2 seasons prior to this one. So while he's been in Atlanta, he's got a 2.46 ERA, very good, with a strikeout percentage of 32.2%, well above league average, and a walk rate of 5.9%. The league average is 6.2, so a little under the league average. In those 2 years, he has only thrown a total of 303 1/3 innings, though. So my question to you again, as the Braves fan that you are, will you take that kind of performance for only 150 innings or so per season?
I will. I think last year there was like a freak, like he cracked a rib or something, missed 6 weeks. It was like a freak injury, but
yes,
I tell you I will absolutely take it to answer your question. The one thing that irritated me about Sale is in the 2024 season, he wins the Cy Young, is amazing, and then gets hurt right before the postseason and is not able to pitch. And they had to throw Bryce Elder out there, who's one of the worst pitchers in baseball. So they don't have the depth. That's the biggest problem. Some teams have a lot of starting pitching depth. The Braves don't. And so he is so valuable and so important. So he cannot get hurt or they'll have a season like they did last year.
All right, so a couple things that you guys can look forward to here. We're going to get After we're done here with the MLB 4-pitch talk, we're going to jump in with Cheese and do a couple more topics in the NFL. And then we're going to come back to Major League Baseball at the end. We always do our lights out list, which is, of course, our version of the top 10. And today, we're going to rank the top 10 third basemen in baseball today. So we'll get to that here in just a few moments. Cheese, is Chris Sale still an ace?
Yes. Absolutely, he still is.
Wow, you answered that fast.
Yep, he still is. I mean, what 2 point? You said 2.46 ERA, 41% better than league average. Strikeouts off the charts, 32. Yeah, he's still an ace. What do you think? Do you think he is?
That 37 years old thing just like flashes red to me, right? Like he's 37, he's 37, he's 37. For me, no. He's still a number one starter. I don't think I'll reduce him down to number 2 or 3 yet. But to be an ace, for me, the definition of an ace is you have a chance to win each and every time he goes out there and pitches. I'm just not sure if towards the end of this would be his 16th big league season.
You're popular.
Yes, no, that's my alarm telling me sometimes I have to get up at 7 o'clock to go in and get ready for work here. But I don't know if he is that guy who you can say, that's the guy who's going to make sure I win today. I think he's dropped off a little bit from that.
Okay, I disagree, but yeah, agree to disagree.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Last thing here on the Atlanta Braves. This is interesting. The Braves also signed a pitcher to a minor league deal who graduated from Auburn, and they plucked him from the Nationals farm system. So this pitcher in the Nationals farm system for the last couple of years, a 3.42 ERA over 76 and a third innings, while only allowing 3 home runs. It's Peyton Glavine, the son of course, Braves Hall of Famer and Baseball Hall of Famer Tom Glavine. What do you think about this move that it's kind of a quiet move that nobody's really talking about that the Braves have done?
So, I mean, it's good for PR. It's going to make Tom Glavine happy, but he's a non-prospect. He's not ever. I mean, I guess everybody in the minors has a shot, but he doesn't have a big strikeout rate. He wasn't even very good at Auburn. This is kind of like, yeah, the Nationals did draft him very late in the draft, I think. But this is just one of those, we have a spot, so let's just sign Peyton Glavine. And you know, it's a great story, but he very likely won't even ever end up in AAA or anything like that. He's just, like I said, he just doesn't have major league caliber stuff, but pretty cool. He's a lefty like his dad, but I think it's just a good PR move.
But if it's a good PR move, nobody's really talking about it. Did you know it before I sent this to you?
Yes.
Oh, did you?
I did. Well, yeah.
Maybe this is more popular than I thought it was.
Well, I mean, I follow my favorite teams. I follow all the transactions, all the moves.
I get that.
So yeah, I did see this, of course, and Tom Glavine's got to be ecstatic, obviously. Now he can go to the when you go see the Braves, I don't know if he's going to be on Rome. I'm guessing he'll play for the Rome team, the Rome Emperors.
Probably.
Probably. You know, the attendance, it's going to help attendance because they're going to wonder if Tom Glavine there, can I get his autograph? So they're going to be looking for Tom because he's probably going to go to a lot of the games. He does some of the broadcasting for the Braves, but now Braves Vision, by the way, Braves Vision, make sure you get it.
Braves Vision, they signed, they unveiled that today.
Right. So yeah, it'll probably help attendance of whatever team he's on because they're hoping Tom Glavine's there and then get an autograph.
Okay. Let me give you a few spring training facts. I got a couple for you. I'd like to get your opinion on. Who do you think will have the biggest impact on their team? Both these guys have signed minor league contracts over the last 48 hours. Michael Conforto in Chicago or Rhys Hoskins in Cleveland.
And you're asking which the better signing?
Which one do you think will have the more of the bigger impact on the team, being Chicago or Cleveland?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, Rhys Hoskins will have much more of an impact. I don't even think Conforto will even make the team. It's a minor league deal. The Cubs just really need another bench outfielder. And I don't think they're sold that Matt Shaw can necessarily play out there. So they really just outfield depth is a worry. They signed Chas McCormick, who hasn't been good for 2 years, former Astro.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Carlson, former top prospect of the Cardinals, hasn't been good for 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're trying to find someone and then now we have Michael Conforto. They're trying to just hope one of them has amazing spring and can be that fourth outfielder. So it's just, but no, Rhys Hoskins, I think he can still play. I was a little surprised that he waited till this long. But yeah, I absolutely think Rhys Hoskins will have much more of an impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think your Cubs they just keep throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what will stick, right?
Just hoping to find another outfielder. They traded Owen Casey in the Edward Roberti of the Miami, and he would have been that outfielder type. So they're just trying to find more outfield help. They just don't have that depth, minus Kevin Alcantara, who is top 100 prospect, but really struggles with sliders, and he's right-handed. They want a left-hander like Conforto, a left-handed backup outfielder.
Yeah, but if he gets selected to the major league roster, he gets over $2 million. So correct. I think that's another thing that'll work against him because he is a Scott Boras client, and they're all greedy. So
hey, no lie detected.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second thing here, you talked about it earlier when you said that the Braves 1 through 4, pretty good, but I'm not sure who their fifth guy is going to be. Yet there are still 3 quality starters on the market that nobody's signed yet. Lucas Giolito's out there, Zach Littell's out there, and Tyler Anderson's out there. Now, I would say I listed them in the right order. I would say Lucas is the best, and then Zach, and then Tyler. But why aren't these guys being signed by somebody?
That's a great question. The only possibility I can think of is they're looking either for a multi-year deal or they're just want way more than teams. Most teams are set. They want way more than teams are willing to pay. Some teams are up against the luxury tax. I am a little surprised that the Braves have not signed one of these guys. I definitely am surprised. Zach Littell, if you have a pitcher-friendly ballpark, I would sign him. He's a pitch to contact guy, but when he's pitched in pitchers' ballparks, he's been very effective. When
I can't believe the Giants haven't signed him.
Yeah, he had a really good year for the Giants earlier in his career, and when he's pitched in ballparks that are more hitter friendly, he's struggled. But he's not going to strike out many, but he's going to pitch to contact. He's going to give you innings. Yeah, the Braves, they don't have the most pitcher friendly, but not the most hitter. I think it's kind of in the middle. I think he'd be a good fit there. Lucas Giolito, like you said, that is a little surprising, but I think it's probably more about money or they want a 2-year deal. And at this point, why would teams do that when they're pretty much set their rotations? So,
well, I think those 3 guys and their agent are probably waiting on some team to have some 1 or 2 get injured, and then they're going to be like, "Hey, here's my client right here," right? So
Zach Littell
that's almost got to be the play right now.
Yeah, Zach Littell, the 3 of them surprised me the most, just because he doesn't get big strikeout numbers. I don't think he command as much money. So just really surprised. Maybe he's just waiting for the right fit.
Could be. Maybe he doesn't want to play on one of the coasts, or he wants to play somewhere specific or something like that. So,
well,
I can see that.
If the Rockies offer him, he's not going there. He doesn't want to play
there. No, he's not. Well, I mean, he did pretty good even for Cincinnati last year in Great American Ballpark, one of the smallest ballparks in Major League Baseball. So
he was better in Tampa. He was.
Well, of course.
Yes, of course. But Tampa, like you said, I just pulled him up. He had a 2.92 ERA in 2021 in San Francisco, more of a pitcher's ballpark. Yeah, Minnesota in 2019, 2.68 ERA. So if he's in more pitcher friendly, then he will be effective. And if he goes to somewhere like Boston, he's not going to be as effective. So yeah.
Let's talk about a specific pitcher here, Tarik Skubal. He is going to pitch 1 game in the World Baseball Classic. He announced that a couple of days ago.
Yep.
He is, and from what he said, Mark DeRosa has known this the entire time. So has everybody else associated with the World Baseball Classic. He didn't hide this from them. He just didn't make this public until a couple of days ago. So he is only going to pitch in the game against Great Britain. He said even if Team USA makes it to the finals, that he won't pitch another game. So do you think players need to commit to the entire tournament or just not do it at all?
Yeah, absolutely. When I saw this, I laughed because you know how I feel about the
Mm-hmm.
WBC. I think it's exhibition. I think it should be with your team in spring training. The fact that he joined and probably excited USA fans, people that love it, like, oh, we got Terry School, we're gonna win because we have probably the best pitcher in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, oh, okay, I'll face Great Britain. They're gonna win that game no matter what. You know, Mike Ballantyne could play third base and they probably win that game. So
Look at us. He on the top 10 list that I've got over here?
he did not make my top 10. In fact,
No,
I
he
went
didn't
to
make mine either.
I went to 5,000. He didn't make it either. But no, it's just like, okay, I'll face Great Britain and then I'm done. Obviously, he's going to be free agent of the year. He wants to watch his innings. But yeah, then don't do it. Don't do it. And there might have been another pitcher that would have done it if Skubal hadn't. So I think it's pathetic. Either do it, commit to it, do the whole thing, or don't do it at all. What do you think?
I'm with you here. You, ladies and gentlemen, are with us on the Lights Out Sports Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. So, yes, I'm with you. I don't like this at all. We'll talk a little bit more about it as the questions kind of go here. I guess I see his point, but I don't like his point. That's how I'll say it. So here's the quote. Skubal's quote was, "I'm trying to do both things. I'm trying to pitch for Team USA, but I understand the need to be here." Of course, he was asked about this at spring training, so that's what he means by here. He says, "I understand that I need to be here with these guys and get ready for the season. I think it's kind of the best of both worlds in that aspect, and I'm grateful they took me in that capacity." So, Cheese, is it the best of both worlds?
No, it's not. I mean, he gets to be part of Team USA. I think that's what he meant. But he's pitching a game they win with anyone else on the roster. They're going to beat Great Britain in that game. I'd be surprised if Great Britain scored off of him.
I can't name you a player on Great Britain.
I didn't know they had a team. Like, why would they have a baseball team? Why would Great Britain have a baseball team? You know, a cricket team, fine, but no, I don't think it's the best of both worlds. I think it's just going to piss people off. I think it's going to piss everybody off. It's going to piss off Tiger fans. Well, if you're only doing Great Britain, why aren't you in spring training? It's going to piss off people, USA fans for the WBC, because they want to see him pitch. If they make it to the finals against like Japan or Dominican Republic, and whoever pitches is just pitches bad that day, whoever the other pitcher is, and it's like, we could have had Skubal. They lose 6-5. They're going to be really pissed at him.
I agree with that. I think that's what's going to happen probably before this whole thing's said and done. They'll get to the finals, they'll lose in the finals, and I don't know if they have to hold his spot. Like, if they can't bring anybody in after him, I would assume they have to hold his spot.
Probably they take him out. I'm assuming they get an extra roster exemption. I'm assuming.
I don't know. I guess I should have looked that up a little bit, but I just don't like it. It's not the best of both worlds. I think it's the worst of both worlds, to be quite honest with you. And I don't like, we'll talk about this in a minute, but I don't like the precedents that it might send. Here's a question for you. If he's only going to pitch in the one game, and he announces that ahead of time, should he still receive a medal if they qualify?
I mean, technically he's part of the team, so I guess he should. I mean, you can't say, "Oh, wait, you only played this game. You only helped us win that one game earlier, so you can't." So I guess, yeah, if he's part of the team, he should get one. What do you think?
I don't like it. I don't. It's like you've already said. They're more than likely going to beat Great Britain no matter who's pitching, right? You're going to have a good pitcher out there, whether it's Skubal or anybody else. And I'm really surprised they're pitching him against Great Britain. I thought maybe they'd pitch him against a team that's a little bit better. He said it like, "I'm going to pitch against Great Britain and we're going to win and that's going to be great. And then I'm going to go back with my teammates." Why don't you just stay with your teammates and say something like, "Hey, I want to participate in the World Baseball Classic, but it's just not the right time for me. Just not this year. I'll wait to another one."
Or if we make it far and if you need me late in the game, I'm not going to pitch early on, but if you need me, if we make the finals or the semifinals, maybe I'll pitch then. Like instead of pitching as Great Britain, if we get to like the Final Four, I don't know how it's done because I don't watch it, but and we're playing, you know, Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or Japan in the Final Four. Okay, I'll come out and pitch for you guys. That would have been much better because to me, then just pitch against Great Britain early on, a game that we could take, you know, probably Bartola Colon. Well, he's not American, but someone who's retired could come out and probably win that game, you know?
Yeah, and Bronson Arroyo can come out and pitch and still be okay.
You know, that's not crazy. He probably could win that game. He probably could. They'd still win that game if Bronson Arroyo pitched because you know he's going to throw strikes.
Justin Verlander could be, you know, he could come do it at his age and still do it. Max Scherzer, who hasn't been signed by anybody either, by the way, I didn't include him on the list of the 3 earlier, but you know,
Orel Hershiser.
Do it. Orel Hirsch. What are we gonna do? Fernando Valenzuela next?
He's not American. He can't pitch.
That's true. That's true. Well, maybe he can have some exemption. You never know with these guys nowadays. You bring up an interesting point, though, and I'm not sure if it's any better. If he says, "Yeah, if we make it to the finals, then all of a sudden I'll be good to pitch. I'll be good to go." I don't think I want that either. I really, if I was, we're playing to make these players happy. Look, somebody needs to pull Mark DeRosa off to the side and says, "Hey, man, every once in a while you're going to piss off somebody, and if you don't like doing that, then don't be the coach."
Yeah.
I mean, it's that
Mark
simple.
DeRosa is the manager of the USA team, by the way, if anyone did not know.
Correct.
Former, Cleveland Indian and Atlanta Brave, Chicago Cub, like 4 or 5 other teams. But yeah.
And I like Mark DeRosa.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
He's
a lot
great
of teams
analyst. He's
great on MLB Network. A lot of teams have offered him bench coaching jobs, and he won't take it because he likes being on TV. It's just less stressful. The Cubs tried to get him to be the bench coach for Joe Madden, and then when Joe Madden was gone, he was going to be the manager. They actually wanted to make him a manager in waiting, and he said, "No, I don't want to do it. I like sitting behind that desk on MLB Network, but he gets to manage this team." But I get what you're saying. It would piss me off too if he just, "I'm not with the team, but I'll come if you make it far." But at the same time, I still think it'd be better because at least he's helping you win, and he's not doing a throwaway game. Either one's bad, but
right.
You know, he's going to be a free agent end of the year. It's his one chance to really get a monster contract. Obviously, he's made more money than he ever needed, but still, if you probably should. And his agent Scott Boras, got to mention that. And so he's going to end up with he'll end up with the Dodgers. He'll be a Dodger next year, or a Yankee, one or the other, or a Met. Dodger, Yankees, or Mets. And the rest of the league is like 99%, and the rest of the league has 1% chance.
Last thing on this, I'm just ignoring that last part.
Okay.
But you're probably right, and she said it today. Next year, Tarek Skubal will be either a Dodger, Yankee, or Met,
or not pitching at all because there's no season.
Got it. Last thing, we got to get to the football stuff, so you can stop that. Is this going to set a precedence for future World Baseball Classics where you're going to have 3 or 4 people, okay, I'll come play for the first week and then I'm going to be done. Or I don't want to play in the first week, but I'll play for you at the end like what you suggest. And then we've got to start making all kinds of exceptions. And what could this do, and do you think it's going to?
Yeah, I think this could be a precedent. And then I think there needs to be maybe rules. You either commit to it or you don't. Like the USA team should do this. They won't, but they probably should do that because you can't be a part-time player. You either commit or you're not. So it could set a precedence, but USA team needs to make sure that this doesn't happen again, in my opinion.
All right. I agree with you. I don't like this. I don't like the precedence it sets. I just don't like this at all. I don't care if he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. You either commit. I mean, it'd be like saying, you know what? I'm going to be the best at my job on the weekends. and I don't care about the weekdays. No. If you're going to come work for me, be the best at your job every day, and strive for that. I got a saying that I'm going to pull into one of these here. I heard this on the quarterback show off of Netflix as well. I believe it was, I think it was Kirk Cousins that said it. If you strive for perfection, you can achieve excellence.
Okay.
So I like that. If you're gonna strive for perfection, then maybe you'll get to excellence. He's not trying for either one. He just wants to come in, do a one-off, and be done. I mean, he's like a one-hit wonder band. You know, that band that has one really good song, and then they make enough money off of that, and they never do anything else. That's not what I want.
I just thought of something. I wonder if he joined, and then like Scott Boras got in his head is like, no, this could cost you money, and he started listening and then realized, oh crap, if I get hurt with all these extra innings, possibly, oh no, and then he's like, okay, yeah, I'll just help you out once. Like, I wonder if he originally was just all in and then changed his mind.
And I wonder, like I said, from his standpoint, I wonder if he's thinking, okay, he said he called it the best of both worlds, right? I'm helping out my country, but I'm helping out my team. Somebody needed to pull him off to the side, whether it be somebody from the baseball classic or somebody from the Tigers or his, that crappy agent that he has or whatever it is, and say yes or no.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing here on the MLB before we jump into your segment of the show where we get to do all the NFL stuff, and then we'll come back to baseball for the lights out list, doing our top 10 third baseman today. Here's the last one. Do you think more MLB teams are going to copy the Dodger way? And this is what I mean by this, Cheese. Will more teams devalue the regular season?
No. A few might, but here's the thing: the Dodgers can do it. Dodgers had all these pitching injuries last year and still won 90 some games. A lot of teams can't do it. A lot of teams will struggle even to make the playoffs if everyone stays healthy. So they can't afford to do it. You can't just rest people. What if you rest people? Okay, we're 2 or 3 up in the division. We'll rest some people because we'll at least, maybe still get in, and then you miss it by a game like the Mets did. Oh my gosh. Like the Dodger way, I mean, they have a 400 according to last season.
Mm-hmm.
They had a $417 million payroll last year. They paid a luxury tax bill of $169 million. And this year, 413 and 161 so far. So most teams can't copy that and can't have that depth. And they have all this depth because of it, because they can just pay whoever. And so very few teams can actually copy that.
So you don't think more teams will rest more players during the regular season if they're, especially if they're really good in their division and nobody else in their division is any good? You don't think they'll do something like that?
Sure, but most teams aren't in that situation. Those teams will, sure. I remember the Braves had some years where they pushed like a starter back, pushed him back. We're going to skip your start. We'll take turns. Austin Riley will have off today, then Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna. Just little things like that. Skip a start or two. We'll just try to limit maybe 2 more starts so he's a little more left in the postseason. So I can see that, but that's when the Braves are like way up in the division. Most teams are not. Even if you're a division leader, most of them are really close, and you have to fight for every game. So it's going to be almost impossible for majority of baseball to do the Dodger way.
So then you don't think teams will do these things even if they're risking a wild card team? Do you? Okay, so the opposite of this is to go to the pitcher, is to go to the hitter and say, okay, hey man, we're in a dogfight here. You need to play through this injury. In fact, we're not even going to tell anybody that you're injured. You're just going to go out there and pitch. Or we're not going to. Ellie De La Cruz supposedly did this last year. He wanted to play every game. Mm-hmm. And so he had a lower leg injury. It depends on who you talk to as to what exactly the injury was. But he continued to play because he said, I'm the best option at shortstop over anybody else on this team, basically, even if I'm only 70% or 60%. And he continued to play through the injury. That could have bit him in the butt. So that's the opposite. How do you fall somewhere in between, and what's the best way to fall in between if you're chasing a title, but yet you're also looking long term at the players as well?
And that's a good example, because if he does sit out for that 6 weeks or so, they don't make the postseason.
Correct.
So, yeah, the Reds can't do the Dodger way. They can't. I guess it just depends on the team. But I don't know how bad it was, but it's pretty unselfish to Elly De La Cruz. But he wanted to make the postseason, and they did. And yeah, obviously they had to play the Dodgers first round, so it did not go well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll just say this.
The Dodgers that were all of a sudden at full strength too.
All of a sudden, yes, they did have a lot of pitching injuries, but you're right. All of a sudden, they can. That's a good point. They can wait to last possible second. They don't have to rush a guy back. They have to make sure he's 100%. They can maybe make an extra minor league start or two, just in case. Spread it out, because they didn't need to win it. They didn't. They had enough wins, and yeah, other teams can't do it, and this is why the Dodger way, and the Dodgers didn't break any rules. They're just exploiting every little thing about baseball. And this goes back to I believe it was 94, when the players went on strike and the owners caved. And since then, the owners could have done a salary cap back then, and they didn't. They lost the whole World Series, probably cost Montreal Expos the World Series that year. They had the best team. And they could have done something then, and they caved. And so because they did, there's all these problems now. And like I said, Dodgers, I mean, I get it when their fans say, we're not breaking any rules. True. But the Dodger way is ruining baseball. They've won the last 2 World Series, and they're the overwhelming favorite to win it again this year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, because there's two sides to this coin. It's their way, and then it's the way everybody else has to play baseball. So yeah. I may end up doing a thing on my separate show where we do Seeing the Whole Field. There's one big reason why the Dodgers can do this, and I don't think a lot of people know what it is. I think we'll talk about that before it's all said and done, before the season starts, because I want to open people's eyes up to what that actually is. So we'll do one. We're going to do some more stuff. We're going to talk about that 4-letter channel and what they're doing in place of Sunday Night Baseball. We're also going to talk about, we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about.
That made me laugh so much.
Didn't it, though? And then we're going to talk about a backup quarterback that has now made a big difference in a lot of younger people's lives. And he actually got a rule passed about it, and they named it after him and everything else. So we'll talk about that later on this week too. So stay with us on YouTube. You'll see that stuff pop up. It'll also be on our X channel, which is All Gloves Off SM. You'll see both of those. It'll be Seeing the Whole Field. You'll come out later on this week. What are you planning to do later on this week with your channel, Cheese?
Child abduction alert, Austin, Texas. Why are they sending me Austin? It's weird. Okay, well, child. Anyway, this week, so I have a Fernando Mendoza prospect video coming up. I've done all the notes. Like, he's the one prospect that I'm done. I've watched all the film, all it's done. I was going to do it today, but then I had to talk about the Packers and the season ticket situation. So either tomorrow or Thursday, I'm going to do a prospect breakdown of Fernando Mendoza. It's the only one that have all my notes done. So I'm going to do it now. I don't need to watch him at the combine. I don't need to watch anything else to know how to do it. So that's the only video for sure I'm doing the rest of the week. And I'm going to do combine reactions as well, and lots of NFL draft rankings, prospect videos coming. So that's basically where the focus is. And then 2 weeks from tonight, I haven't talked to you about this, but it's the day before free agency starts. So we'll do a free agent preview 2 weeks from tonight here on the Lights Out podcast. Well, we'll do some free agent predictions, maybe some fits, maybe the Bengals actually do something in free agency.
I kind of like this. I think we should maybe do a separate show, maybe do like a free agent frenzy show or something like that, to where we. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that more.
Because I have some thoughts about the free agent class, and yeah.
Okay. I like this. All right, buddy. Sounds good. So you were talking about the Green Bay Packers, and you were talking about what they are doing right at the moment. So without further ado, let's do this football thing, and we'll jump into it here as soon as I find the right music. Hang on, there it is. Let's do it about, I don't know, now. All right, buddy, give us a little preview of what we're going to get here on NFL 4 Down Territory.
All right, so what we're going to do is talk about the Green Bay Packers and them taking season tickets away from, some ticket holders that are selling those seats. And we're going to talk about there's some changes in the UFL, the United Football League, and what that means and why maybe some of them could end up to the NFL. We're going to go over each one and tell you what we think. And then I got a crazy stat for Mike and maybe a little trivia, see if he can get it when I do that crazy stat. So,
all right. I love stats. I do. So I'm looking really forward to that.
Okay. So I did a video on this today on my channel. I went more in depth, but I'm actually happy you have not watched it because I really want to get your take on this because it does involve one of your teams, one of your favorite teams. But the Green Bay Packers, what they're doing is they're taking away season tickets from fans who are reselling them like on places like SeatGeek. And opposing fans are buying those tickets. And Lambeau Field, used to be 98, 99% Packer fans, in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And now you have games where 15, 20% of the fans are the opposing team. They're not the only team, the Green Bay Packers, taking measures. The Seahawks have sent emails to all their season ticket holders, stop doing this or else we could take your tickets away. The Colts and Lions have limited the number of games their season ticket holders can resell their tickets. And I think it's one of them, I can't remember which one, you can do half the games, but not the other half. So they're putting a limit, and if you break it, we're taking your tickets away. And the Buccaneers have done this. They have offered fans, if you cannot make it, rather than sell it on somewhere like SeatGeek, give the tickets back, we'll sell them to Buccaneers fans, and we'll give you a future credit for a different game that you can attend. Okay, so that's 5 teams that are trying to do something about this. It's just a problem that's happened all over the league. So the Packers have taken away over 1,000 tickets so far, and they're warning other ticket holders to either attend the games or make sure Packer fans are the ones buying or sitting in those seats, basically. You can give them away to Packer fans or sell them, but it must be Packer fans. Now, Mike, my question for you, do you agree with what the Green Bay Packer organization is doing to their season ticket holders?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
Not at all. When you buy that ticket, that's your ticket. We shouldn't care what you do with it. I mean, I know. So I had a family member for a while who had season tickets to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is really, really expensive to get the season tickets to and stuff like that. You actually have to pay a fee. I don't know if you have to in Green Bay, but you have to pay a fee to just be able to get those tickets. And then you have to pay for the tickets and all of this kind of stuff. And as both of us know, and a lot of our fans know, Dallas plays every Thanksgiving. So they were able to go to all of the games, with the exception of the Thanksgiving Day game. They would sell the tickets to that game and reap back like half of the money that they paid for it. And it was like you got half off your tickets the entire rest of the year. There's nothing wrong with that. They paid for that. They should be able to do with those tickets whatever they want. And we got Raman over here who's going to ask you a question in a second too. So I want to throw that up there in a minute before we get off of this subject here.
Okay. I thought you were posting it now. So
I can if you want. Sure.
You think it's okay? Okay. So no. That scenario is they didn't go to one game, and they sold it for one game. That's not, I think, who the Green Bay Packers are going after, or these teams, the Colts, Seahawks, or whatever. I don't think that's who they're going after. They're going after what they call brokers. These fans that have had these tickets for years. They may have moved out of Green Bay, it's a small town, or Wisconsin. They may have moved to Arizona, Texas, Florida, somewhere retired. Okay. And they go to maybe one game a year, and they're selling them for as much money as possible, probably making money. Because Green Bay Packer tickets are they're valuable. So they're probably making a profit on it. throughout the year. If you sell all but one, you're going to make a profit. And Lions fans, Vikings fans, Bears fans are the ones buying it. And all of a sudden, the home field advantage goes away. Those are the people that they're going after. Okay. And you said that's okay. That makes half their money back. Sure. Okay. Thanksgiving Day game. I get it. But a lot of these people, like I said, they're using it to make money. And it can hurt the Green Bay Packers by losing the home field advantage. So, yeah, I could not actually disagree more. I love that they're doing this. The Lambeau Field home field advantage should mean something. And there was a game in 2023. I still remember it. There was a Packer reporter on X said, "Holy crap, 15 or 20% of the stadium is Lions fans." And I did not believe it. I was shocked. And they showed it on TV, and I saw the stands, and I couldn't believe it. All this all this blue, all this silver. And there were people at the game taking pictures of the crowd, and I couldn't believe it. And that's because all these people will be selling the tickets. Okay, what's Ramen have to say? We're supposed to use tickets for clients and employees. You know, the same standards. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's You should have a home field advantage. You should be able to put rules and stuff for your season ticket holders and just your fans in general that there might be fans who are not season ticket holders that buy a ticket or like in March or May and resell it. If the team gets good, oh wow, I can make a profit. I can make $200 more than I paid, and they might do it later. And that's not okay either. And the Packers can track the tickets. They know who's doing it. Plus, you can see who sits in the seats as well. Okay.
So you're making a side hustle. I don't understand what the big deal is. I mean, again, those are your tickets. You're paying for them. You should be able to do with them whatever you want.
Yeah, but they're making a side hustle. It's a hustle. They're doing it to make money. They're not actually using it on the games. You are a season ticket holder. They assume you're going to go to the game and support your team. Instead, they're selling it to the enemy, basically, and using it as a profit. And the Green Bay Packers, any team, has every right to take those tickets away. They have every right. I love that they're doing this. I think every single team in the NFL should warn fans, especially if it's more than half or most of the year. Don't do this, or we're taking your tickets away. And Green Bay has 155,000 people on their waiting list for season tickets. So, Mike, do you think it's fair to give those fans a chance rather than the fans who are trying to resell it to to Lions, Vikings, and Bears fans? Wouldn't it be better to give it to those people who actually want to go to the games?
I see now I can get around this one. This is an interesting take by you on this because I don't care if these people are trying to make money. That none of that stuff bothers me, and that's a great question, by the way, Raman. I appreciate that. I think those corporate people should be held to the same standard that everybody else is held to. If you're going to do it to the average Joe, then you should do it to the corporate people as well. I don't know if they will because I'm sure they're going to make a ton of money off those corporate tickets, but they should. But now when you're saying, so 155,000 people are on this wait list. So build a bigger stadium. Can't they, do what Ohio State and Michigan do all the time, right? They add 4,000 tickets to it. I mean,
their biggest stadium in the NFL. It's already big enough.
Not if it's got 155,000 people on a waiting list. It's not big enough.
It used to be well over 200,000. Like there are people that on the list will die before they get on there. It's the way the Packers are. They're a nationally recognized team. They have just so many fans. I've gone to sports bars in like 7 or 8 states just to watch the game before like Sunday Ticket, or I just didn't want to pay for Sunday Ticket. And every single one, I found at least a group of Packer fans. There's a group of Packer fans everywhere. Like Steelers, Packers are definitely the two most. You get some Cowboys too, but yeah. And so there's just so many fans out there that just want season tickets. And I don't think they should have to wait if somebody else is just using it for profit. Now, some of those fans might be trying to do the same thing, and then they should immediately lose their tickets as well, in my opinion, if they're just trying to do it for a profit. And that's, so like you said, the Thanksgiving game, half the money back. That's awesome. But at the same time, it's I don't like that. They're almost exploiting that one game. We can skip that game and get half of it back. I don't like it.
Smart to me. It's smart business if you ask me.
But it doesn't help your team.
I get that, but I mean, if the reason your team loses is because the home field advantage isn't there, then your team's not very good anyway.
Well, it should be an advantage. Maybe it's not the reason you lose, but you should be louder. You should. Some of these teams have unbelievable home field advantages, and it's because they don't have other. I mean, they don't have other teams in that stadium. You should have that should be a thing. You should have most of your fans in the stadium, because some teams have just much stronger home field advantages, and I think every team should have some kind of regulation there. But I get what you're saying. But you are an Arizona Cardinal fan, and this is definitely a problem. This is definitely what?
I said sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, this is definitely a problem with the Cardinals, and it's a problem for Florida teams as well, where they live. A lot of people are tired of Florida and Arizona, but they were listed when I did research for the video as one of the teams that's hurt the most by this. I mentioned this in my video. I was watching a Arizona Cardinal Green Bay Packer game, and I could hear "Go Pack Go" on the TV, which means there was enough Packer fans in that stadium to chant "Go Pack Go," which means Arizona did not have a home field advantage of that game. At best, it was probably 50-50, at State Farm Stadium. You have been to Cardinals games, I'm assuming. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, I've noticed this ever since I've been here. This is not new. We all know it's done this way. But we also all know that Michael Bidwell, who owns the team, is still making a ton of money off of it, so he doesn't really care. I think that might be the difference. I think you've got owners and front office personnel that do care about the team, and then I think you have other owners and front office personnel who just care about making money off the team. And that might be where kind of the discord is here. I mean, you're a fan, right? You're a fan of the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
And you're annoyed that people are selling their tickets to outsiders, basically. And I just know it comes with the territory here, and you're going to have probably a 50-50 split. But the other part of this equation is this, Cheese. The Green Bay Packers have been pretty good for quite a number of years, where the Arizona Cardinals have not. And if I'm going to buy the tickets, am I really going to support a team that goes, that has 3 wins in a season? Or am I going to say, you know what, I can sell these tickets and make money off of it. Why would I want to go see this terrible team? But yet, when the Packers come to town, we even talked about this. You and I were like, hey, what if I get tickets and, you come in and see the Packers and, I'm not going to, I didn't think it was terrible that you were going to take a ticket and come in with your big cheese hat on and everything else and come in and support your Packers.
True.
It's also a great way for a fan like yourself to go to a different stadium and support their team just in a different stadium. So I don't think it's as big a deal as you think it is, and as maybe you're making it out to be. But I also think you have a different perspective on it because the Packers have been relatively good for a lot of years, to where a lot of these other teams. I mean, I don't think Jacksonville Jaguar fans are going to be upset about it. I don't think Chicago Bears fans would have been upset about it until a couple of years ago. I don't think Detroit Lions fans have ever been upset about it. I also think it just depends on your mentality and the product your team's putting on the field.
Trust me, Lions and Bears fans do not like Packer fans in their stadium. I get what you're saying, but you don't have season tickets to the Cardinals. It's not like you're selling the season tickets and Packer fans bought it. Like if I came to visit you, we'd be like just buy tickets and we just go to the game. I think that's a little different than a season ticket holder actually selling and not knowing who they're selling to. Could be the opposing. So, but I get what you're saying. It's just, watching games in the 90s, that you look at the stadium, those Green Bay, the Reggie White, Brett Favre teams, I didn't see opposing fans in the stadium. I didn't see any of them. Fans didn't do that. They went to the games or they gave them to their friends. And now it seems like it's all about money, and it's hurting teams' home field advantage, in my opinion. But no, interesting take. But yeah, Arizona Cardinals, I think Bidwell needs to do more. I think he needs to look. How much money does he need? Like, he could lower ticket prices. He could take a chunk of tickets that aren't sold, and he could go to the middle school or high school and give them to those families and say, come out. Here's free T-shirts and jerseys. Come out, support our team. Let's just fill the stadium up. Let's be loud, and then be loud. And he could get some of the best players on the team, like Budda Baker. You could get Trey McBride saying, let's be the loudest. Like, we're playing the 49ers. That's our rival. Let's be louder. Let's make them do a silent count so Brock Purdy can't hear. He could do stuff like that, but he chooses not.
No, I get that, but that's never been the way it is here, and I don't think it's going to be until the Cardinals become better. And I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen either. So
they'll be better this year, I guarantee you. I'm giving you a guarantee they'll win more games than they did this past year.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to go there yet or not. It depends on what the quarterback situation is going to be. I mean, we talked about this off air a little bit. They're talking about bringing Malik Willis in here. What's Malik Willis ever done besides being backup in Green Bay?
In Green Bay, he's 13 of 15 on throws over 20 yards. Best in the league. Best percentage in the league.
Whew. I can't wait.
That's the most unsustainable stat I've ever heard in my life. I saw that and I was like, he's thrown a great deep ball, but I couldn't believe it. I had to actually check it out. 13. It's the most unsustainable stat. 13 of 15 deep ball.
That's not your stat you were going to give me. I mean, that's because this is going to be underwhelming if it is.
I wasn't even going to bring this up until you brought Malik Willis, but I saw that stat the other day and I'm like, wow, he either is the best quarterback in the NFL or he just got hot in small sample sizes. Not that he could be a good quarterback. I think he could. But the people that saying he's better than Jordan Love, they're just nuts. He had a couple really good games, couple really hot moments. But yeah, so he either will bust or be the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I don't want to be the team that finds out which one he is.
He's, because you said that, he's going to sign with the Cardinals.
He probably is. I mean, yeah, we can talk about that later, but he probably is.
In our free agency preview, we will talk about it. Okay.
I like it. We'll do it.
Oh, yeah. Because Greg Rosenthal on NFL.com put him as the number one free agent. Pretty controversial. I would not put him number one. There's some other players.
I'm not even sure if I put him in the top 10.
A little surprising. Okay. Maybe it's positional value. Who knows? Okay. So we got to talk about this. We're going to go through them all quick, one by one. Okay. But the United Football League, they're introducing new rules in the 2026 season. They're doing it to increase offense, more scoring. And we're going to go through each of them. And the reason I want to bring this up is the kickoff rule in the NFL, they started that. That was something they did, and the NFL changed their kickoff rule after seeing the success the UFL had. So it's very possible some of these rules will end up becoming NFL rules. So I wanted to go through them all. First one, do we think of this one? 4-point field goal. If the kicker makes a kick, it has to be 60 yards or further. They get 4 points. Are you for this one or against this one?
I love this one, especially because, I can rib you a little bit because kickers are football players too, sir.
No, they're not. They're people, barely.
I mean, if they can get you an extra point just because they can kick the ball further, I think you would eventually come around to the fact that maybe they're good at football. I like this, okay. and I think it would, maybe we get some kickers in the 4th or 5th round instead of the 7th round of the draft.
Maybe 2nd or 3rd.
I don't know if I'd go that high quite yet.
Well,
but
Sebastian Janikowski was a 1st-round pick. John Gruden.
And where's John Gruden coaching at? Where?
I think he has a podcast.
Okay, it's not as good as ours though.
Well, John Gruden. I don't want to go into that. Yeah, that's a good point. Kickers will be more valuable and they'll be drafted higher if you do that. So it would change the draft. It would change how people see specialists. Okay, Here's another one. No punts past midfield. So basically, if you're inside your opponent's territory, you cannot punt unless it's the final 2 minutes of either the half or the end of the game. What do you think?
I kind of like this. I can really see how these first 2 rules are going to increase the offense and make it a little more exciting. They have to go for it. There's no There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to. And as you already know, a lot of times teams will call a certain play on second down because they're going to, or excuse me, on third down because they're going to go for it on fourth down regardless. So this could really change how a complete game is called with this rule. I like it.
Yeah, if you have, let's say you're on like the 40, you have a 3rd and 20, you're just going to get as close for a kick because you can't punt. You got to. The one problem I have with it, I think if you have a 4th and like say 20 or more yards, you can punt. Because what if you're on the 49 and it's 4th and 31 because of a couple penalties, and you have to go for a 4th and 31 on the 49? That is a huge advantage for your opponent. So I think maybe if it's 4th and 20 or more, you can punt. I would just make that, like maybe give them a little leeway. But other than that,
how about you be a better disciplined team and not get a bunch of penalties?
Okay, so the Arizona Cardinals, you mean?
I don't know who was the most penalized team last year.
Someone in the comments, listen, who's the most penalized team. I just know Arizona Cardinals. Their special teams was even worse than the Green Bay Packers, if that's possible. Okay, it cost them some games. Anyway, yeah. Talk a lot about the Cardinals. Are you looking it up? You are. Okay.
Yes.
Well, while I'm looking it up, okay, here's the next one. They banned the tush push. So basically the tush push, if you didn't know, the quarterback can snap it, you can shove them forward, and it's successful like 90% of the time on short yardage. So do you like the tush push ban?
I don't really care about this. I mean, if everybody's allowed to do it, I don't understand what the problem is. And just because you don't do it,
it's not a football play, because it's not a football play. It's a shoving forward.
Whatever.
I want to see 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, the running back trying to jump over the line. I love that jump over the line or fight for more yardage play. So I hate the tush push. So I'm definitely for this. No, you don't care.
No, either way. No. As long as everybody's able to do it, I don't see what the big deal is. But okay. I will tell you, the most penalized team in 2025 in the NFL, accepting 133 penalties during the season, the Dallas Cowboys. Second was a tie between Jacksonville and Tennessee at 130 apiece. So
Jacksonville surprises me because it's usually bad teams that don't make the playoffs. So Jacksonville, that surprises me. So maybe Jacksonville, interesting. If they cut that down, maybe they'll be even better. Who knows? A lot depends on Trevor Lawrence. Okay, next one. 1 foot in bounds. Similar to college football, you only have to get 1 foot on a catch. Completed catch, 1 foot in bounds instead of 2. What do you think?
No, I don't like this one. This is the only one so far that I think it's what makes college football different from the NFL. And I don't think that the NFL wants to be like college football. And I wouldn't think that the United Football League would want to be like college football. So I get it that they want more offense, but it's almost like they're reducing themselves down to the rung of college football. And they should try to be better than.
I agree. And offense is already in the NFL ahead of the defense. So why give them like that's a little too far for me. I agree. Okay, Next one. Modified point after touchdown options, or the extra point. So you can do the regular extra point for 1 point. At the 33-yard line, you kick extra point. The 2-pointer, same thing, from the 2-yard line, you can go for 2. Or, third option, you can go for a 3-point play from the 8-yard line. What do you think?
I mean, what was it? I think it was the USFL that tried to do something really similar to this, to where you could do this and this and this, and their whole thing behind it was, a team's never out of it. But at the same point, I don't want to watch a 2-hour football game and then have a team come back and win because they do 3 of these 3-point plays at the end, and they haven't been very good the entire game, but all of a sudden they win just because of this modification to the rule. No, I don't want this one. Just leave it alone.
You imagine Matt LaFleur looking at these, just sweating. It's like, I always give up the lead anyway. I'm gonna blow even more leads.
It's true.
Yeah. No, this one is interesting. If you're down 9, you're pretty much done with like less than a minute to go, and this will be able to tie it. But like you said, it benefits the team that's behind. It benefits you. You have more options. If you're down 4, you can kick a field goal over 60 yards. You can get to like the 45-yard line, and we can just tie it with 4. We can tie it if we're down 4. If you're down 9, now I can get a touchdown and possibly tie it if I throw a touchdown from the 8. So it maybe make it more exciting, but I don't know.
Last thing I'll say about this too, Cheese, is the NFL will never let this happen because this will affect the betting line way too much, and they can't be having that. So,
no, good point. Didn't think about that. Very good point. Okay, next one. Red zone penalties. This one's kind of weird. I was surprised. Penalties inside the 20-yard line result in half the distance to the goal. So if a defense commits, say the offense is on the 18, defense jumps off sides, instead of going to 13, it'll go from the 18 to the 9, half the distance. What do you think?
Cool. So is this anytime they're inside the 20?
Anytime, no matter what the penalty is, if defense commits a penalty, it's half the distance to the goal. So personal foul, offsides, defensive holding, all of it half the distance to the goal. Basically, going to punish you if you do any kind of penalty inside the red zone. Talk about affecting the betting line.
Right. Yeah, they could really do all kinds of crazy. Yeah, shoot. Man, Kansas City will win every game. I don't know. I kind of like it. It makes a team be more disciplined, which is one of the things that I like a disciplined team as far as that part goes. When Seattle didn't make hardly any mistakes in the Super Bowl, it was so impressive, right? I don't know if I want to punish them that bad or not, though. Maybe just like the final quarter or something like that, I'd be okay with. But I don't know if I want to do this the entire game.
It gives the refs more control because it's more of a punishment. Don't
Absolutely.
like it. Kickoff rules updated. Once again, they started the kickoff rules has to be in the landing zone that the NFL uses, and the people covering the kickoffs are actually closer to the player. They're not running at full speed all the way down the field. So updated, the ball once again has to land in the designated zone, or the touchback is spotted at the 40-yard line. So not the 35, but the 40-yard line if it's a touchback. What do you think about that?
I don't really care. I mean, if it's going to be the same, again, it's one of these things where if it's going to be the same for every team, then, the rules going in. So, if you don't want your opponent to be on the 40-yard line, then you don't kick it in the end zone.
Yeah, I think only a third of the kicks were touchbacks, maybe even a quarter of them. So I don't think this is necessary. It may lead to a little bit more, but yeah, I don't think it's necessary. They just really want kickoffs in the UFL. Last but not least, overtime. Now, this one's interesting. So what you would do is you get the ball on the 5-yard line. You have 3 attempts to score back and forth. Rather than do that 10-minute coin flip, you go back and forth. You have the ball on the 5. You have to score in 3 opportunities. What do you think?
So each team gets the same 3 opportunities, and however many points they score at the end of that, that's who wins the game.
Yes. So if say if the Cardinals are playing the Bengals, right? And the Bengals score.
It'd be a terrible game.
And then the Cardinals score. Then the Cardinals go again, and they don't. And then the Bengals score. If you both score, you keep going. But you go from the 5-yard line. And here's why this one's interesting to me. Because I hate the overtime now because it's 10 minutes and both teams have a chance. It's led to more ties because if one team scores a touchdown, the other team has a chance. It's only 10 minutes. It used to be 15. So there should never be a tie. I hate ties.
I agree.
So this is interesting because it would prevent ties, but also prevent you playing an extra 10 minutes, which is a lot more wear and tear on your bodies. Imagine if you played Sunday and then play Thursday, and you have to play a 5th quarter, another 10 minutes. This would prevent that because you're just running 3 plays. What do you think about that aspect of it?
I don't know if I like it being on the 5-yard line. I think I'd like it like on the 10 or the 15. Because I think on the 5-yard line, you're taking the receivers out of it for the most part. You're taking tight ends out of it. You're basically going to run the ball 4 times and just cross your fingers. So I think
it would be 3 times, but yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, but I think you would see the same plays over and over and over again, and I'm not sure if that would be a great brand of football. I would like this if they push it back. In fact, I would say put it on the 15-yard line and give me the expansion of the field so that I can run more plays and get more gimmicks and stuff like that.
I love that. Actually, I love that. 15-yard line, first and goal on the 15. You have 4 plays. We'll just do 4.
Mhm.
That's what football is.
Okay.
And you're right. It'll lead to more passing plays. You're on the 5. So
Mhm.
yeah, first and goal on the 15. And how about this? You always have to go for 2. You can kick a field goal, but you always have to go for 2. So you can only use the kicker as far as field goals. Yeah. And guess what?
Yeah.
Way less wear and tear. And most of them won't go past 2 overtimes. Yeah.
And the great thing is, like you just pointed out, you will have a winner. I mean,
Yes.
in my book,
Ties
somebody
are
has
off.
to win and somebody has to lose. The tie thing is terrible.
Seeing the standings, at the end of the year, you're 9-7-1. It's terrible, and it hurts the tie breaks, but it just messes everything up. So yeah, I agree. Okay, of all these rules, which one is Mike Ballantyne's favorite?
I want to go with the last one, but I want to make it 15 yards, not 5 yards.
Okay, ban the tush push for me. Yeah, ban the tush push. Sorry, Eagles fans. What's your least favorite?
I'd say the least favorite for me is these kickoff rules. I don't think that 5 yards and the landing zone thing makes any difference whatsoever.
I hate the 4-point kicker. Don't give kickers anymore. Don't. Stop it.
Of course you do.
70. What a 7-yard kick, 5 points. 80-yard kick, 6. No, just don't give the kickers more incentive. I want football players. I don't want specialists to be drafted in the 2nd, 3rd round. I don't want it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So my last question about this is: so do you think if these innovations make it to the NFL, do you think it'll actually make the game better, or would you rather just maybe half of them, or just do you want to keep the game as it is right now, the status quo?
I don't mind changing it. I don't mind changing it up. I mean, I think a rule change here and there is good for the sport, good for us and stuff like that. It gives us something to talk about. So, I'm not sure if I'd make all of these rule changes at one time, but I'm okay with 1 or 2 rule changes every year.
Okay, sounds good. All right, crazy stat. I actually have 2 stats. You might have seen this first one. We'll do the first one. The crazy one we'll do a second. Did you notice Adam Schefter sent the post on X, and it was reposted by a lot of people. Of the 32 teams, 21 have a new offensive coordinator. Did you see that?
Wow. No, I did not.
21 teams. Now, a lot of them got head coaching jobs, but a lot of them just switched. Matt Nagy was basically like, oh, we hope you get a job. We're going to hire Eric Bieniemy because he's better. But 21 teams have new offensive coordinators of the 32. Yeah, continuity, Mike. I thought continuity was key.
Well, that kind of means that the NFL is doing what it's supposed to be doing, right? So it's what we like to do in our jobs as well, right? You get somebody in there, they learn, and then they get promoted, and then you get somebody else that takes that spot, and they learn the gig, and then they get promoted. So I kind of like that we've had that much of a change. It means people are doing their jobs and they're getting promoted. I like it.
But when you keep the same staff and the same head coach, it's good for the quarterbacks. Continuity is good, despite the fact that both quarterbacks in the Super Bowl had new offensive coordinators this past year. But, that's what they'll say. Oh, but continuity, That's why I had to bring that up. But,
Okay.
Yeah, if you didn't know, if you're watching, you didn't know, most head coaches came from the offensive side of the ball. It's just the way the NFL is. It's an offensive league. Okay. We'll see how many you get. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. In the last 16 years,
okay.
one of these three teams in the last 16 years has been in the AFC title game. Only 3 teams, one of them, has been in the AFC championship game every single year for 16 straight years. Can Mike Ballantyne name those 3 teams?
All right, so I'm a little confused. So
Okay.
what am I naming here?
Okay, so the AFC championship game has featured one of 3 teams. One of these 3 teams has been in it every year for the last 16 years. Has featured one of these 3 teams. Does that make sense?
Okay, so one of these 3 teams has basically made it to the AFC championship for this. How many years this is in a row?
16 straight years. The AFC title game has featured one of these 3 teams. Has been in that game. Can you name those 3 teams? Which is insane. The NFC's had a way more.
So AFC teams, right?
AFC.
Kansas City.
Correct.
New England.
Correct.
Oh, am I going to say Baltimore or Buffalo? Which one am I going to say? Baltimore.
I recommend neither.
Oh, okay. Well,
this is the tricky one. This is why I love this stat, because no one's going to guess this. You would probably get down to the bottom 3 or 4 before you guess this. But the answer is the New York Jets. Rex Ryan made 2 AFC title games in a row with Mark Sanchez with really good defenses. And they played Pittsburgh one year. I'm not sure they played the other. But the New York Jets, Kansas City Chiefs, and New England Patriots have been part of the AFC title game. One of those teams for 16 straight years. What's up, Packers on top? It's crazy. The New York Jets, even though they have the longest playoff drought, they made 2 AFC title games in a row. Crazy, right?
it is crazy. It is a crazy stat. You're right. I'd have never got them.
Yep. Okay. So that concludes our NFL segment. And looks like it's... do you have any more to say about the NFL, or are we going to go to the lights out list?
No, let's go to the lights out list. In fact, I'm going to do something different here. Let's do that for the baseball lights out list, right? We'll show this graphic for a change. I've never done this one before.
I like the green.
Something different. All right. So when we do the lights out list and we're doing one baseball, we'll do this graphic every single time. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to rate the third baseman. So top 10 third baseman today. We're going to start with number 10 and work our way to number 1. Cheese, are you going to go first or am I going to go first?
I will let you decide.
Well, I've got everything pulled up for my number 10 guy, so let me go ahead and go. All right.
Okay. You go first.
Yes. Yeah. You let me decide. So I like me, so I'm going to go ahead and go first. So I told you that I added a person to this list because I like them really well, and I told you that I lowered a person down on this list because I don't like them very well. So number 10, the guy that I like, that I know has not had the greatest last couple of seasons, but I still really like him. I think that what he brings to a leadership role is also very important, which sometimes is, I don't want to say it's more than the stats, but it can galvanize a team and it can do some different things. So number 10 for me, the guy who just got traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks, Nolan Arenado. Last year in 107 games, 401 at bats. He had 93 hits, only 48 runs and only 12 home runs, only 52 RBIs, and he only batted .232. But I put him here, again, I'm just being honest, because I like the guy, and I think he brings a lot to the table that maybe stats just don't encapsulate. So I put him, I couldn't put him any higher than 10, but I put him at number 10.
Yeah, his bats just dropped off, and
It
has. If he's still playing as good a defense as he used to, I might have put him on there. But I get it. But no, I did not have him in my top 10. My number 10 is Max Muncy of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He had a pretty good year. Not great, but good. He had a couple, he used to be like a really good player. Then he kind of fell off for a couple of years, and he found it again. But he's just good. He's above average bat, probably below average fielder. But, I think he had 19 home runs last year, just a solid, good player for the Dodgers. So, yeah, number 10, Max Muncy.
All right. My 9 player. More for his versatility. The reason why he made this list for me.
I'm having trouble hearing you, man. I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you. Maybe it's the music.
Hang on. I'll fix it.
There you go.
I know what it is.
There you are. Okay.
Yeah, am I back now?
You're back.
Okay, fantastic. Maybe it's because when I go over here, is that bad? What about now? Are we still good?
I can still hear you.
Okay, excellent. So he can play first base and third base. 102 games last year in Houston. He had 97 hits, 53 runs, and 20 home runs. Only batted .257, but because of the versatility, I put Isaac Paredes at number 9 on my top 10 third baseman today.
Yeah, I also didn't have him. I considered him. He was close, but I just couldn't fit him on my list. Okay, yeah. So all right, so our lists are always different. My number 9 would be so much higher if he didn't suck at defense. And he also has some injury issues, but boy, he can hit. And that's Bo Bichette of the New York Mets. I just worry he was one of the worst shortstops, maybe the worst in baseball defensively last year. Probably should be a DH at this point. They're trying him at third base. We'll see. But if he's healthy, he will hit. So Mets took a big swing. They didn't give him a long-term deal, but still paid him a lot. But yeah, Bo Bichette, because of the bat, he has to make the top 10, number 9.
I did not put him in my top 10. I thought about it, but I couldn't pull the trigger. So for me, Nolan Arenado, Isaac Paredes, and one of the guys from one of your teams for me is number 8. I know he had some injury problems last year, but overall he's been much above average. Really good defense as well. Excuse me. And of course, when he comes to the plate, he has a WWE theme song when he comes to the plate, and that's always a kicker for me. So.
I know who you're talking about now.
In 102 games, 416 at bats, 108 hits, 54 runs, still got 16 home runs in those 418 at bats, stole 2 bases as well. His name is Austin Riley. He's my number 8 third baseman today.
Yeah, last 2 years he's been kind of banged up. He's not. He's only played about 2/3 of the year. But 2022, 2023, he was one of the best third basemen in baseball. If he can stay healthy, maybe he can get back to that. That's what the Braves are definitely hoping. They need it from him. My number 8, I'm going to go with Carlos Correa of the Astros. Play has fallen off, but he's still, if he's, I worry about his back, but when he is healthy, he can be really good. Astros traded for him. I think the Twins just wanted out of that contract, but Correa, he's good defensively, good offensively, good fit for that ballpark. So yeah, number 8, Carlos Correa of the Astros.
All right, so number 7 is the other guy that I mentioned where I said I just don't like this guy, so I've got a bias against him, and I dropped him down here to number 7. He should probably be higher if you look at nothing but his numbers, but I look at everything. I look at his attitude. I look at how he does things. I just can't stand the guy. Just can't stand him. We'll leave it at that. In 159 games, 615 at-bats, he had 169 hits, really good numbers, 91 runs, 27 home runs, and 95 RBIs, and stole you 14 bases and batted .275 for the season. But I just don't like him. Manny Machado, number 7 in the top third baseman today.
More on him later.
I'm sure.
Okay. My number 7 is Matt Chapman of the San Francisco Giants. Still a good hitter, not great hitter, but he's still a good hitter. I think he had 21 home runs, but he's going to give you a very good defense. Maybe not quite as good as it used to be, but I had him a little lower, but I moved him up just because of the defense. So yeah, number 7, Matt Chapman of the Giants.
Okay, we'll do Matt Chapman here in a little bit for me, but he will be on this list as well. This is a guy who I actually put in like number 2 and number 3. And then I kept looking at other players, and I'm like, oh, no, I got to drop him down. Oh, no, I got to drop him down again. Because this guy's better. No, this guy's better. And it's probably going to upset you here. But here are his stats.
Don't do it.
114 games. That's all he played. That's the main reason why I've dropped him down on this list. He only had 433 at-bats. Now, I will give him credit. He still hit 18 home runs and got 62 RBIs, even stole a base, and batted .273 for the Boston Red Sox last year at third base. Alex Bregman, number 6. I could not put him in the top 5.
His play dropped off significantly when he got hurt. He played hurt a lot of it. So his numbers he's so much better than his numbers. So more on him much, much later. Okay. My number 6.
Much later. Wow.
Much later. My number 6, you've already brought him up. Austin Riley of the Atlanta Braves. Yeah, I'm counting him staying healthy and being that 37, 38 homer guy again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, he's good defense. Not great. He's never going to Gold Glove, but he's a good defensive player. Really improved there. That's one thing that's gotten so much better about his game. But yeah, I couldn't put him in the top 5 just because he's just a little bit of unknown. We don't know if he'll ever return to the form, but yeah, Austin Riley, number 6.
All right. Well, the guy who was in the trade for Bregman, and how all that ended up going down, is a little bit better than Bregman is. 607 at bats in 163 games, so almost played them all. 153 hits, 99 runs, 35 home runs, and 109 RBIs. And Tubbo even got a stolen base somehow. Not sure how he did that, but Rafael Devers is my number 5.
Is he playing third base? I didn't have him. I thought he was playing first base for the Giants.
A little bit of both. I put him on the list because he played third base for Boston last year, so I kept him on the list.
Yeah, I mean, well, he plays first base for the Giants now, but he was a third baseman until then. But okay, I get it. I thought he was a first baseman, so I didn't put him on the list, or he would have made it. My number 5 is, I hope I say this name right, Maikel Garcia of the Kansas City Royals. Wow, this is a guy that I think I had him 8th or 9th, and then I looked at his bat. Maybe not a great defensive player, but his bat is incredible. How many homers did he hit last year? I should have it, but I don't have it in my notes. But I think he hit 45 home runs last year. Let me look it up.
Hang on, I can tell you in just a second.
No, I mean, no. Oh, sorry, I mixed him up with somebody else. No. Oh, no, sorry. No, Maikel Garcia, up-and-coming young player, made the All-Star game, 16 home runs, 74 RBIs, 286 average, very good. No, sorry, he was. I mixed him up with Junior Caminero. Anyway, but very good defensive player. I had to move him up just because he's up and coming, and I think he's going to get better. I think we'll see a big jump from him. Like I said, good defensive player, and I think that 16 home runs could turn into 25. So Maikel Garcia of the Royals, number 5.
23 stolen bases. He actually had 171 hits, did Garcia.
Yeah.
As well, and he plays second. He can play second, third, short. He can even play in the outfield. So very, very versatile as well. He didn't make my list. He would have been 11 for me.
Okay.
But I looked at him. Thought
I was pretty aggressive with him. There's just a lot of good things he does, and he's young, like I said, he's a young player, and he's already an all-star. Yeah.
I agree with you. All right, buddy. So my next one here, I'm trying to locate him for his stats, but I can't right offhand. You have already mentioned him. That would be Matt Chapman. Mm-hmm. He, of course, gives you great defense over there at the hot corner. He's been doing that his entire career. There we go. He plays third base for the San Francisco Giants. He did only have 105 hits, but he gave you 21 home runs and even got 9 stolen bases for you. So kind of a, I don't know. He's an anomaly a little bit. I mean, he gives you some things that you don't think he's going to give you, and then he doesn't give you some stuff. I mean, he only had 61 RBIs, so but he did walk 71 times as well. So a lot of different things that he gives you pretty much spread across the board. He is good at everything, but great at nothing. So Matt Chapman for me, number 4. That's true.
Yeah,
he's good at everything, great at nothing.
Yeah, I moved him up a few spots just because I looked at the defense, and it's like, yeah, he deserves. I had a lot of guys close on defense. That's what I did. I looked at defense, and then I moved up. Outs above average, especially, I absolutely love that stat. Mm-hmm. My number 4, you've already mentioned him, and you just hate him. But Manny Machado. Manny Machado just always is good. He's had some really good years, but even when he's not like great, he's still good. He can hit. He's 34 years old. He's always hit. He's just 20. You said 27 homers, 95 RBIs. That's really good production from third base. So yeah, number 4, Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres.
All right, so before I give you my top 3, here's 10 to 4. It's Nolan Arenado, Isaac Paredes, Austin Riley, Manny Machado, Alex Bregman, Rafael Devers. I put Matt Chapman at 4. And my guy at number 3, I'm sure you're going to have him on your countdown. I'm going to help you pronounce his name for you. Eugenio Suarez. In 159 games, he had 134 hits. He had 91 runs and 49 RBIs as well. So a big offensive output from Suarez at third base, and that put him for me at number 3.
So because they have Ke'Bryan Hayes, he's going to be like a first baseman DH. So I didn't have him because I don't think he's going to play third base. So I didn't even put him on the list. Otherwise, I would have, obviously. But yeah, so I don't even have him. My number 3, you've already mentioned him. You should have had him a lot higher. Alex Bregman of the Chicago Cubs. And, you know.
Yeah, I can admit my bias.
You can, hold on. Who doesn't have him in the top 3? Find a list out there. But I'll say this. You could argue as far as the bat goes, he and Machado, you could flip them either way, right? But the intangibles he brings, like you said, Bregman is so likable. Machado is not. Bregman is one of the leaders in the clubhouse. He's going to play good defense. He's better defensively than Machado. He's just so good. He's been so good for a long time. And yeah, I think he's a top 3 third baseman. I couldn't put him ahead of the other 2 guys. The other 2 guys just really, really good. But yeah, Bregman is he's the middle order bat the Cubs needed. He's a leader in the locker room they needed. So I love the pickup. And yeah, Cubs are going to win the Central. I'm calling they're finally going to win it. First time since 2017, if you don't count the COVID year.
All right. By the way, I'm looking at fantasypros.com, and they have Alex Bregman as 9th, by the way. Just
fantasy. They didn't, not best third baseman. That's fantasy baseball.
Yes, but what gives you the fantasy stuff is what they can deliver offensively and defensively. So
no, yeah. Defense has nothing to do with fantasy. It's all offense, and it has nothing to do with leadership, clubhouse. None of that. Fantasy pros. I don't look at fantasy stats. I don't play fantasy baseball. So
you may this year. I'm looking at a couple things that I haven't talked to you about yet, but we'll talk about it off air. By the way, so Suarez was number 3 for me. Number 2. A guy that I think is the most underrated person on this list. A lot of people are probably going to say the number 1 guy for me is the most underrated because he gets all the publicity. But look at these stats. In 154 games and 602 at-bats, he gave you 159 hits, 93 runs, 110 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, and 45 home runs.
Yeah.
Junior Caminero is my number 2 guy. I didn't know his stats were this good until I looked him up. I'm impressed.
Yeah, of the Rays.
22 years old, by the way, Junior Caminero.
Oh yeah, I think he was called up when he was 19. I mean, he's been a top 5 prospect in baseball for several years when he was called up. I mean, he's a stud. 45 homers, 110 RBIs, 20. He was 21 last year already. Like, he is one of the best hitters in baseball. Like, he's an absolute stud. Going to be one of the biggest stars for years to come. I would love for him to sign like a 10-year extension, 11 with the Rays, and stay there. But he'll probably end up with the Dodgers, Yankees, or Mets at some point. Who knows? But yeah, he's also my. But he's also he's my number 2, and I could put him number 1, and you're going to talk about him first. But yeah, but he's number 2 right now. But very possible he's number 1 next year when we do this list.
So my number 1 guy is 33 years old. The number 2 guy is 22. The number 1 guy is 33.
Yeah.
He just signed a 7-year, $175 million extension with the Guardians in 158 games. In 593 at-bats, he gave you 167 hits, 103 runs, 30 home runs, a little low on the RBI at 85, but he gave you 44 stolen bases to make up for it, and he had a 282 average. Those are fantastic numbers. I don't care what position you play. But since he plays third base, and we're ranking our third baseman, Jose Ramirez is the number 1 third baseman in baseball today.
He's not good at everything. He's very good at everything. Defense, base running, hitting, power. Like, he's the face of the Cleveland Indians. Yeah, Indians.
Okay.
He kind of reminds me of Chipper. Chipper Jones was just the face of the Braves for years, stayed there when he could have left. And like Jose Ramirez, he's like, I'm not leaving. I like it here. He would, if he hit free agent market, he could get paid by someone else. But no, keep signing extensions. I love that. I love watching him play. I love that player. It's one of my favorite non-Braves or Cubs out there. And he's just very good at everything, and he will be a Hall of Famer. And I hope he gets a ring at some point. I don't know if he will, but yeah, number 1 has to be Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Indians.
All right, buddy. I love it. So our lists were actually pretty different. I had Arenado, Paredes, Riley, Machado, Bregman, Devers, Chapman, Suarez, Caminero, and Ramirez. What were your top 10, sir?
Number 10, Max Muncy of the Dodgers. 9, Bo Bichette of the Mets. 8, Carlos Correa of the Astros. 7, Matt Chapman of the Giants. 6, Austin Riley of the Braves. 5, Maikel Garcia of the Royals. 4, Manny Machado of the Padres. 3, Alex Bregman of the Cubs. 2, Junior Caminero of the Rays. And number 1, Jose Ramirez of the Indians.
Okay. I know.
Chief Wahoo.
Chief Wahoo. Chief Wahoo. Yes. I liked them better when they were the Indians too, but I'll respect the fact that they now call themselves the Guardians, even though I don't like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're close to the end here of season 2, episode 3. Thank you guys for being with us. Appreciate everything that you've given to us. You can get us on Facebook. You can get us on our YouTube channel. You can have Cheese on his YouTube channel as well. And we are also on Twitch and X. So look for us everywhere because we are there. This is the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Cheese, give them your stuff, buddy. Where can they find you?
Yeah, YouTube at Football with Cheese, CHEEZ, like you see on the screen. Yeah, just make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notification. And you can find me on X at Football Cheese, basically without the with.
Basically without the with.
Yep.
All right. I like it. And then, of course, when you get there, I can't believe you didn't do this. I don't think we've done this the entire show. You got to make sure you hit the bell for notifications, and there's some boxes to check. And then, I don't know. Tell them what they're supposed to do, buddy.
I just said that, but okay. I just said that 15 seconds ago. Yes, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. That tells you how much Mike is checked out. He's ready to eat some food. He is just ready to. He's in post-podcast mode.
I am. Beans and cornbread are calling my name. I can hear it. I can hear it from the kitchen.
But no, I have a Fernando Mendoza prospect video coming either tomorrow or Thursday, and I'm going to cover the combine. I'm going to do videos about that. So if you're a big NFL draft fan, make sure you check out my channel.
All right. Fantastic, buddy. Hey, I appreciate you coming on here with me as you have for quite some time now, man. I think this is the deal. The Lights Out Sports Podcast with myself and Cheese every week at the same time. We'll be doing a couple of specials coming up. Please stay here with us for those as well. Looks like we're going to do something about free agency. Go ahead, Chief.
Also, we got to mention this. The week of the draft, the Tuesday of the NFL draft, we are going to do a mock draft. Mike's going to host it. Me and 3 others, we're going to pick 2 divisions each. We did it last year. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to get 4 draft analysts on here, and we will do a mock draft live. Take about 3 hours. It was so much fun last year. So, look forward to that. Once again, Tuesday before the draft.
All right. We can't wait for that. That'll be great. Okay, guys. Again, thank you very much for being here. We certainly appreciate it. And, of course, Cheese, you got anything to add to the end before we say good night to everybody?
Yeah, Alex Bregman, next year you will have him higher, guaranteed.
Okay. And I may have, even if Manny Machado has a great season, I may have him lower just because I don't like the guy.
Yeah, and I noticed you didn't have the Dodger Max Muncy on there. Of course you didn't.
No, I don't. Actually, I don't mind Max Muncy as far as a person goes. I just don't like that team. So,
Nobody does, except Dodgers fans. Nobody looks.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, their spring. Have you seen their spring training tickets? By the way, they're like $120 for a spring training ticket for the Dodgers.
I not even going to react to that.
Yeah, they got to pay for that team somehow.
It's insane. Why would anyone pay that?
I don't know.
I thought tickets were like $5. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, mug check time, and of course, as we're going to show you right now, the Spidey mug is out. Yes. We got a lot of other channels or a lot of other shows on this channel. All Gloves Off Sports Media. Check them out. You'll see them here in a few seconds. And as we say at the end of every one of these shows, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. Good evening, everyone. Appreciate you coming out.